We are broadcasting live courtside from Fort Scott, Kansas, upon the campus of Fort Scott High School. For the first time in 2-3 weeks, Labette County travels. We're having to learn what that means again, Ian, as it has certainly been a long time since Labette County's played on the road. They had a couple Tuesdays off, and they played 4 straight home games. But we are set up shop on the longest road trip within the SEK Conference at Fort Scott, right by Labette County's bench. Good evening, Grizzly fans, and thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition of Labette County Grizzly Basketball. This is the Tank Connection pregame show. Jack Leake and Ian Harlow happy to be with you with Lucas Hayward on the KLKC Sports YouTube live stream. As later on, I believe for the first half of the boys game, you will get to hear the voice of Grizzly football, the color commentator, John Kohler. I will be gone for Friday night's senior night contest against Atchison, so John Kohler is going to step in and do the first half of the boys game tonight just for practice and preparation for Friday night's broadcast with Ian. 7.5 minutes until tip. It is Fort Scott and Labette County. This is the Tank Connection pregame show. Ian, Fort Scott, Lady Tigers, head and shoulders above the rest in the SEK. 8-0, undefeated, but Labette County nipping at their heels, playing really good basketball.
Labette County girls have been playing fantastic basketball as of recently, and they seem to be on a tear right now, and nothing's been in their way or stopping them currently. And so I think this will definitely come as our biggest challenge of this after Christmas break. And actually after Christmas break, if I'm not mistaken, the Lady Tigers were the first team that we did play, and it did seem like there was a bit of rust on our players when we played Fort Scott, and they took advantage of that. They just kind of rolled over us, and they showed us how dominant they are and what to look for next when we do play them in the future. And so the future is now, and so I think this will be a really, really great game against two fantastic teams who love playing fast. And Fort Scott just kind of seems more fundamental with their basketball. I mean, they have good key players, and we have a lot of good key players as well, but our main thing is we love playing fast, and I think Fort Scott knows how to handle that pressure. That was a really big thing that they did against us when we played them earlier, I think after Christmas break, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quite recall that. But just as well as Fort Scott took advantage of us, and it just kind of seemed like they out-hustled us, and they were more in condition than us as well. And everything went right for Fort Scott that night. And so this will be a really great back-and-forth game. It'll be a really, really big dogfight between two outstanding teams with great talent on each team.
Ian is referring to that matchup. It was after Christmas break at home against Fort Scott on January 5th. Our girls fell to the Lady Tigers 64-47. Landry O'Brien led the way in scoring for us with 16, and then it dropped all the way down to 3 players that scored 6. Addison Rexwinkle, Nevaeh Jones, and Aubrey Boss. That's back when Labette County, I feel like, was playing not intentionally, but they were kind of playing too fast. I know they like to play fast, and you're right on when you say that, Ian, but they were almost playing a little too sped up. We'll say that. They were playing at a good speed, but they were too sped up, and they were tripping over their own heels, turning the ball over quite often, and still getting wins, don't get me wrong. But this is a much more buttoned-up Coach Vollmer's squad without question, and so Fort Scott might see a different version of the Lady Grizzlies tonight. Again, this is the Tank Connection pregame show. 4.5 minutes until tip, a big girls contest on tap to start the night. Back in 30 seconds with more of the pregame show. Fort Scott High School pep band getting the atmosphere brewing here within one of the tougher places to play within the confines of the SEK. 3.5 minutes until tip. The 8-0 in the conference, 8-0 Lady Fort Scott Tigers getting set to take on our Lady Grizzlies that rest at a very stout 6-2. Alone in first place is Fort Scott, and alone in second place are our Grizzlies. The two best teams in the league set to go at it here in just over 3 minutes. But more of the Tank Connection pregame show continues right now. In the last contest, Ian, on Friday night, as part of their fourth and final home game in terms of that stretch, they have one more home game on Friday. Labette County, the Lady Grizzlies that is, put an end to Chanute badly as they took down the Lady Blue Comets that were a little short-handed last Friday, 56-14, Ian, and Chanute did not hit one 2-point basket. They had 4 threes and 2 free throws last Friday night.
Yeah, it was a really great game for Labette County. Definitely did not let the other game previously, where we did unfortunately come to a loss against Chanute, did not let that affect their game against them when we previously played them.
That's hard to do.
So.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my microphone was on.
No, you're good. Chanute definitely struggled a lot and just made a lot of mistakes, but it just kind of seemed like everything that Labette County shot up was going to go in, and that's what it's been like. And actually, previous games before that as well, every time in the first quarter, it just seemed like Labette County would always make shot after shot.
Right.
And so I think that's been a really great thing, getting shots up in the gym at practice, after practice, people putting in the extra work has made a big difference in their game and their game plan, and it's just it's a different team Labette County has been after the break, and I think Fort Scott's gonna have a good run for their money tonight, especially after a really great game against Chanute.
I think a really important piece of this game that starts in 90 seconds is, or at least starting lineups does, Labette County is going to need to stay in this game for the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If Fort Scott hits 3 threes and goes up 17-6 and Coach Vollmer's forced to call a timeout, that's tough. That's tough. Labette County doesn't have to be the team that goes up 10 early, but, at halftime, at the end of the first, hang in there, withstand one of the tougher road environments, and then make your push and pull the blanket late in the ball game. Coach Vollmer, about 4 feet to my left, leaves the cushioned chairs on Labette County's bench as each teams trot to their head coach as the buzzer sounds, indicating 1 minute until the national anthem, as I got word that they are going to do a 1,000-point ceremony. I'm not sure for who. Maybe Keegan Yarrick, as she's one of the bigger scorers in the SEK. Yarrick, a senior forward for Fort Scott's squad. And then I believe a 100th win ceremony for Coach Steps of Fort Scott. But it looks like the national anthem is going to be first. So we'll be back in 2 minutes with that announcement, the starters, and tip-off. Coach Steps of the Lady Tigers, fantastic coaches throughout the SEK for both men and women. He's receiving an award for 100 career wins. Congratulations, Coach Steps. As it looks like starters are in for both teams, as we'll go ahead and start with the Lady Tigers of Fort Scott, as Keegan Yarrick is indeed going to get an award for her 1,000-point milestone, as that's what I was told it was, 1,000. One of the better scores in the SEK. We'll see if Labette County can shut her down tonight. That is very hard to do. For the home team, I almost said the away team. I'm so used to saying that over the past 2 weeks. Starters for Fort Scott, number 2, a 5'6" sophomore, Abby Gorman. Number 5, a 5'6" senior, Raven Kegler. Number 10, a 5'6" junior, Allie Brown. Number 22, a 5'9" senior, Keegan Yarrick. And number 23, a 5'11" junior, Kylie Comstock. Starting for Labette County, the Lady Grizzlies, is going to be number 23, a 5'8" junior guard, Landry O'Brien. Number 10, a 5'6" senior guard, Kaiten O'Brien. Number 11, a 5'7" senior guard, Nevaeh Jones. And number 33, a 5'9" junior forward, Kinsley Boss. And number 22, a 5'5" senior guard, Addison Rexwinkle. This is a Labette County team that has played mighty fine basketball over the last 2-3 weeks. And their trajectory is certainly one that is what it needs to be to get out of here with a win, as this is, as of right now, February 13th, the best team in the SEK in the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. Those are your starters. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we'll take another glance back at that game on January 5th at home against Fort Scott, where our Grizzlies fell by 17 to these Lady Tigers. It was Keegan Yarrick that pounded us for 22 points, and Allie Brown, their point guard, she's a good ball player, a junior. She had 19. Their big, Kylie Comstock, didn't hurt us too bad. She had 9, but we're going to have to keep her off the glass. Anticipate Fort Scott to shoot the ball well, Ian, here at home. Labette County is going to have to play a really solid game to win this one.
Yeah, really solid game, and just honestly, if they go point for point with Fort Scott and stay with them throughout the whole entire game, I think it'll come down to the wire. I just think Labette County has to stay with them to be able to keep up with them, because I think if you let Fort Scott go out to a lead and just continue gaining momentum off of that, I think it'll be a tough situation for Labette County to be in and to get back into the ball game.
Head coach for Fort Scott, Pashawn Steps. Assistants Dylan Duffy and Gary Floyd. For Labette County, head coach Brianna Vollmer, and assistants Heather Wilson and Madison Evans. Tip-off in 30 seconds. This is a biggie here in a moment on KLKC. Toss and the tap won by Labette County's Kinsley Boss. First possession is in. Addison Rexwinkle with the rock on the right wing, and it's a near jump ball called in.
Wow.
Boy, that was an early jump ball. My goodness.
Yeah, very controversial call right there, but no fighting the referee on that. Just really, really quick to it.
20 seconds into the game here in Fort Scott. Gorman, starting point guard alongside Allie Brown, gives it up. Yarrick out to Brown, was open but pulled the three-pointer down. Defended beyond the arc by Landry O'Brien. Labette County has to avoid foul trouble if they can here up north. First possession for Fort Scott. Just 40 seconds into the contest. Brown playing catch with Gorman. They're looking for Comstock. Well defended, and a foul on Landry, as that'll be the first foul for either team here tonight, and that's Landry's first, of course.
Lebec County staying in that 3-2 type defense that we've seen in the past couple games, and it seemed to be very effective.
You're going to have to anticipate some of these fouls being called that might not seem like it. That's just might be how it is tonight. 1 minute in, first quarter, they dump to Comstock. She catches it. There you go, another example. And a touch foul called on Lebec County underneath. As we see this when we come here in the past, as well as at Chanute, it has nothing to do with, I think these officials are great. Don't have a problem with them. But it just seems like the games get officiated differently the farther you get from Altamont, Kansas.
Yeah, you're
just
not
simply
wrong
does.
at all about that.
Nothing wrong with it. That just seems to be how it is. Here's Comstock underneath, and it's ripped out of the hands of Comstock by Katon O'Brien, and it'll stay with Fort Scott. Allie Brown will inbound underneath their own basket. Wearing a compression sleeve all the way down her right leg, throws it into Comstock, who's wide open on the back block, and it's 2-0 Fort Scott. Lebec County with their second possession.
Yeah, previous game she didn't seem to be that effective on us, but I do think this will be a turnaround game for us, and she'll definitely come in big for Fort Scott.
6:30 to go, first quarter, 2-0 Fort Scott. Lebec County with the ball. They punch a hole in Fort Scott's zone. Katon left wing, pounds it with the right hand, skip pass, little high for Jones, but she catches it, and they throw it away out of the corner. Fort Scott just denying and forcing Lebec to just throw it until a mistake is made.
Yeah, I think that's something that's going to be very rough for Lebec County, pardon me, if they can't get a hold of the ball and get some points on the board for us. It'll be a very big struggle.
Missed shot by Fort Scott, rebound Nevaeh Jones. Coach Vollmer says push. Landry coast to coast, pulls up short, hits it. 2-2 the score. Landry with a big bucket.
Yeah, I think Coach Vollmer definitely had the right decision there to go inside into the paint, push it as fast as you can.
Another foul called on Lebec County on the far baseline. 3 team fouls on Lebec County, 0 on Fort Scott, with still 5:47 to go in the quarter, as Aubrey Boss is going to check in for Addison Rexwinkle, as we'll see who they got on that one. Was it Katon?
I don't know. There, yeah, it's on Katon O'Brien.
Here's Gorman. Yarick, left wing three, good.
Wow. Yeah, you can't give her too much space. She's going to bank that right in your face every time. She's a really great jump shot.
The 1,000-point scorer hits her first bucket tonight. Here's Nevaeh Jones for the tie. Strong, but boy, did it look good. And Lebec County has to hustle back on D. Yarick right to left, quick, gets to the cup, scores. Lebec County in their road blacks, has it poked away. Yarick right to left again. We might need an early timeout. Gorman scores it. And Vollmer is going to let them go and see how they handle it. It is 9-2 Fort Scott, and now she'll call a timeout. The start we talked about in pregame we didn't really think could happen has already took place, so overcoming it is the only next option. Back in 30 seconds, this is Lady Grizzly basketball.
With many years of combined experience, Eye Care Associates of Parsons has set the framework in providing comprehensive eye health examinations for all ages and routine vision care for families throughout the four-state area. Our optometrists and staff provide remarkable care with state-of-the-art technology to help with diagnosis and management of eye health conditions. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your next eye exam. Eye Care Associates of Parsons. Experience modern eye care.
Your early score from Fort Scott, Lady Tigers 9, Lady Grizzlies 2. Keegan Yarick already with 5 points, a three-pointer and a steal and layup. Lebec County trying to break Fort Scott's press. They don't feel him again, but a foul is called on Gorman. And that's Fort Scott's first crime committed tonight. And that is on Gorman, her first, with 4:50 to go in the opening quarter.
I think I may have heard Vollmer say it, but I was just about to mention that they need to be talking on offense, even though you mainly talk on defense, but on offense you need to talk as well. It's call out wolf whenever someone's coming behind you and trying to get a steal.
Aubrey Boss with a nice drive, misses the floater. Rebound Comstock. Little shuffle of the feet, but no whistles called in, as it's going to be a turnover on Fort Scott. Yarrick dribbled off her leg. Kinsley up ahead to Landry, into the chest of Brown, and that's a block all day long, but he called it a charge, and that's the second on Landry with 4:30 to go in the first quarter. And the fourth as a team on Labette County, as Landry jump stopped, kind of like Jordan Duncan does for Chanute. Just wait till they brush your jersey and then fall down like a rock. But heck, I guess it works. Keep doing it.
Yeah, like you said earlier, kind of with Chanute, same thing.
Yep.
They do that same thing.
Ball tipped out by Labette County. It'll stay with the Tigers. One of the better players over the course of the last month for Labette County, Landry O'Brien, already on the bench with 2 personals. And Labette County's down 7 with 4:15 left in the first quarter. Libby Poole in the game for Landry. Fort Scott playing catch with it. Yarrick, left wing, pulls it down. Gets it back from Gorman. They go inside, and Aubrey Boss bats it out of bounds with her right paw. And it'll stay underneath with the team in white. That's Fort Scott in their home white jerseys with red trim and numbers.
Aubrey and Kinsley Boss being in is a very great defensive stop for Comstock. So it does put a lot of pressure on Fort Scott's guards to make plays happen. But as you've seen, Yargett has put stuff into her hands and done great things with it.
A fight for the ball underneath, and we have a foul going the other way on Fort Scott. Allie Martin's going to check in for Kinsley Boss, as that's going to be kind of the benefit of sitting right next to Labette County's bench. Is I heard Coach Vollmer tell Allie, go get Kinsley, please. I can hear just about everything.
Yeah, we're court side, like court side right now.
Labette County breaks the press of Fort Scott up ahead to Nevaeh. Fades to the corner, throws out of the double team. Labette County has a pass ahead. Caton for 3, and Caton O'Brien buries it. They needed that badly as they were getting stops but hadn't been scoring.
Yeah, really good shot from Caton there. It's something that we needed to get some offense rolling for us, so hopefully we can get some momentum going. As Caton O'Brien almost gets a takeaway, but bats it out of bounds, and Fort Scott will maintain possession of the ball still.
9-5, Fort Scott, 3:20 first quarter. Next foul, and Fort Scott's shooting 2 free throws the next 3 minutes of the first quarter. Yarrick with it, defended by Poole. A set play, Brown wide open 3, and she hits it.
Yeah, she beat us last game a lot on the arc, making a lot of 3 points for Fort Scott.
Caton gets across the white jerseys, pulls up from 8, airballs it short, goes to Nevaeh. Pinballs picked up by Fort Scott. Right to left, Gorman striping in front of us with the left hand, pulls it back, and will settle into the point guard, Allie Brown. Fort Scott shot the lights out of the ball in Harrison, scoring 64 points on our Grizzlies back on January 5th. As they had 4 first-half threes and hit 3 in the second half. They shot the ball well. Here's a drive from Yarrick to the cup. Right-hand layup, good, and Fort Scott goes up 9.
Yeah, just a little too easy for Yarrick to go to the rim there. A little more pressure and defense would definitely help out there.
Caton at the top, head fakes, and a travel's called on O'Brien. Turnover Grizzlies, and back to Fort Scott we go. Jaden Davis in the game. Or will check in here shortly. She should be able to go in, as she does check in for Aubrey Boss now.
Yeah, that's a really great substitution for us. She's going to put a lot of pressure on Yarrick down there, as well as give pressure to any guards that try going inside as well.
As Allie Martin had an interception, but tumbled, hit the deck, and landed out of bounds, so it'll stay with Fort Scott.
No.
Oh, he called a foul on Yarrick.
Yeah. They kind of can take advantage of this if Fort Scott doesn't pay attention up. Well, they just figure it out. But yeah, no, I think I do agree on that. As Allie Martin did go for a loose ball on the ground, and then I think she kind of did get a little shove from Yarrick.
That's 2 on Yarrick, so that kind of counters Landry O'Brien's 2 personal fouls for our Grizzlies. 2-minute mark has been ticked past. First quarter, 14-5, Fort Scott. Davis, high post, Caton, left wing 3, in and out. Rebound Yarick, Fort Scott right to left. She's dribbling with her head up. Forwards the pass to Brown, pulls it back. Yarick, the senior with it. Back to Brown, the junior point guard. And a set play is going to come in from Coach Steps. Couple subs in the game for Fort Scott. J.C. Rogers and Aubrey Yarick. Underneath Gorman, wide open. Backside layup is bricked as well by Fort Scott. Long rebound goes to Caton, but she dribbles out of bounds on the carom. And with 90 seconds left in the first, Coach Vollmer wants another timeout, as she's pretty frustrated with her team's energy level right now, as they've played all right defense, as Fort Scott has 14. That's where we should be, but offensively not quite. Back in 30 seconds with Lady Grizzly basketball.
V93.5 is your home for the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. Get your day started with the Anna and Raven Morning Show. You're the judge during Couples Court. Couples share their disagreement, and then you decide who's right. Think you know pop culture trivia? It could pay off, and you score the cash jackpot when you play Can't Beat Raven. Krause in the House gets you home every weekday afternoon starting at 2. Stream us anytime, anywhere at KLKCradio.com.
14-5, Fort Scott. Coach Vollmer irate at her squad. Right before she took them to a huddle on the bench, she ripped them on the court, as seems like they've been affected right from the word go here on the road. Allie Brown wants a three but misses it. That's gotta be going the other way, as that is a foul on Fort Scott. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here too early.
Yeah.
But that's going to go on number 24, Aubrey Yarick, the sophomore, the sister of Keegan Yarick, who has 2 personal fouls. So, boy, well, Keegan will check out. I was going to say, if we could take one at her and draw a third in the first quarter, that would be huge.
Yeah, replacing her, though, is Claire McElroy, a sophomore who stands at 5'8", who will intercept a pass from us and take it down the court. Wow. Oh, yeah.
It did go off of her leg, and so it'll go to Labette County. Addison Rexwinkle will check in for Nevaeh Jones. 54 seconds left in the quarter. Allie Brown checks out for Fort Scott as Kylie Comstock checks in. 14-5 Fort Scott. Labette County with a 3-pointer from Katon O'Brien and a 2-point bucket from Landry. Here comes Libby Poole across the timeline to Katon. Speedster gets ahead of the defense, fakes a pass, shoots off the glass, misses it. Long rebound poked out off of Fort Scott, and will stay with Labette County.
Yeah, really good possession here. Would be a really good favor for Labette County, even if they got 2 possessions before the end of the first quarter.
Jaden Davis at the top. Poole wants a right wing three, gets a right wing three. Labette County shaves the Fort Scott lead to 6 with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Brown and Yarick both on the bench. Labette County double teams in front of us, and that's going to go off of Katon. She was fighting for it hard. It'll stay with Fort Scott, but the Mo is switching a little, and Coach Steps will send in Brown and Yarick, better known as Batman and Robin, for the final 22 seconds of the first quarter. I'm just saying they're a good duo, okay?
Yes, yes. Big threats on the outside. They can both shoot from inside, or from outside and inside. Can cause a lot of trouble.
14-8, Labette County has worked hard to get where they're at. Here's a missed shot by Comstock. Labette County up ahead to Katon. 6 seconds. She'll Euro step, shoot a fader that's blocked. A nice play by Comstock with 1 second left. Labette County can't pick up a foul, and Katon does not. She was fighting for it hard, but Ian, I feel fortunate to be where we're at, as after that Coach Vollmer timeout, Fort Scott did not score again. 14-8 Tigers at the end of 1. Back in a minute with the second quarter from Fort Scott, Kansas.
My name is Bria, and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few days, we are here at Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South to help get you well without any interruption in transition of care. Just ask for Meds to Beds. At Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South, we are here for you today and we are here for you tomorrow.
The Lady Grizzlies will have the ball to start play in quarter number 2. Keegan Yarrick with 2 personal fouls, still in the game for Coach Steps. I'm telling you, unless it was a scoreboard malfunction, she has 2 fouls. If you can go at her and get a third, I mean, that's monumental.
Yeah, that would be really game-changing for Labette County. Nice.
As Davis on the left block draws a Fort Scott foul and will shoot 2, as you could tell that the game plan was kind of for Labette County to go at their bigs, whether that be Martin, the Boss Twins, or Davis underneath, because Comstock has height, but Labette County kind of has that horsepower in terms of an advantage on Fort Scott. Draw some fouls and slow the game down, Ian.
Seems that their plan kind of came out to work, as Jaden Davis will miss the first free throw, but it seemed like their plan was working in the beginning of the first quarter, but just kind of died down after a little while, and Labette County either played better defense or their defense switched up, because I did recognize they went from a 3-2 to a man-to-man defense, so maybe that caused some troubles for her, as Davis will make her second free throw.
Brown, point guard, been playing varsity basketball, if I'm not mistaken, since she was a freshman. Nevaeh Jones deflects a pass. Labette's got to get back now. Here's Kegler, right to left, forced to pick it up. Yarrick loses it, picked up by Caton. She'll pivot, or that's Martin over there now with it, up ahead to Caton. Here with 7:15 to play in the half. Caton, touch floater off the glass, gets the touch. Labette County's within 3. They're on a 6-0 run here after Coach Vollmer called that timeout. Yarrick gets by everyone.
Nice.
Davis with good hands, but a foul called by the official at half court, but a nice play by Jaden Davis.
Yeah, really good defensive play from Jaden Davis. I thought that was all ball. I thought she just got her hand in there, but the referee behind half court saw otherwise.
7 minutes left first half. 14-11 Fort Scott. Ball in Yarrick. Corner, three-pointer, Gorman, air ball, rebound Jones. Nevaeh pushing pace to the corner, Martin. Bobbles the catch to Davis. Inside, shoots it off the bottom of the backboard, and a foul called on Fort Scott. That is the key here for us, I think, as Labette County's bench is just wanting to just demoralize Fort Scott inside, I think.
I think that's a really good plan, as well as these referees are calling a lot of fouls right now. Yes. So honestly, if you just get it down into the post and they go up and there seems to be contact, they're going to call a foul and blow the whistle. And Jay Davis will make her first free throw, and Allie Martin will come out of the ball game for Kinsley Boss.
Allie with nice minutes, gets high fives from her bench. Davis does make the first. That's the first foul on Comstock. Davis misses the second short, but gets her own miss. Labette County can tie her, take the lead. Caton drives, jump stop to the corner for the lead. Off to the right, tipped about. Labette County has it again. Caton saves it. She'll look to drive to the corner. Rexwinkle down low. Boss up and under on Comstock, and it's blocked out, but that's okay. With 6:30 left in the half, it'll stay with Labette County, who's on a 7-0 run.
Yeah, a score right here would put a lot of pressure on Fort Scott, and honestly, kind of didn't feel like that was going to be the way, but Labette County will turn the ball over here, and Fort Scott will kind of kill the momentum of Labette County scoring and regain possession of the ball.
6:30 first half, Fort Scott by 2. Brown all the way up ahead. Jaden Davis with a big-time play. As the ball lands out of bounds off of Jaden Davis's back. Boy, Jaden Davis has came in and played hard.
She's been really great. Ever since she started playing more minutes for us on varsity, she's been taking all those minutes and playing the hardest she can every second she's got. And it's paid out for us.
Fort Scott hasn't made a bucket in a long time. Whenever Coach Vollmer called that timeout in the first quarter with about 2 minutes left, going on 4 minutes for the Tigers. Yarick for three, in and out, and then back in. Good shooters just tend to get that touch, and the Fort Scott lead pops back out to 5, and Yarick has 10. Davis inside to Kinsley, and she's fouled by Yarick as she turns in frustration, as I think that's her third, unless the count at the score table was off earlier. Nope, that's 3 on Keegan Yarick, as Coach Steps played his senior 1,000-point scorer with no fear for the last probably 5 minutes of gameplay, as she'll check out for a while, as we haven't seen Landry for a while with 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, we have not. McElroy for Fort Scott will replace Yarick.
Ball goes into Boss. Kinsley shoots a fading one that's airballed short. Comstock with the rebound, outlet to Brown.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Comstock also has 2 fouls, but I could be wrong, so we can also get her into foul trouble, and that'd be in our benefit a lot.
Fort's got a deep team. A wide open 3 is up and good by Claire McElroy. As there we go, it's up to an 8-point Fort Scott lead. I know it wasn't on purpose, but Fort Scott has way too many good players to leave anyone open for 3. We'll keep it here and thank a few sponsors for allowing our job to be possible. Labette Community College, Forbes Hoffman Funeral Homes, Clemens Insurance Agency, Labette Health, Woodworth Enterprises, Carson Wall Funeral Homes, Commercial Bank, Eye Care Associates of Parsons, Labette Bank, the Bartlett Co-op, and Labette Center for Mental Health Services. Back in 30 seconds with more Grizzly basketball. Labette County got within 1, I believe, maybe 2 here at, I think it was 2, against Fort Scott. And now the Lady Tigers are on a run and Labette County throws it away. 5:17 left in the half, 20-12 Fort Scott. And the Tigers will have the basketball off of Labette County's turnover.
Just a little bit too high of a pass for Nevaeh Jones from Kent O'Brien.
Fort Scott here to our left as we sit courtside. Off a screen, Gorman to Brown right wing. Hits the flashing Comstock, who goes up, shoots, misses it, and it's rebounded by Kinsley Boss, who's trying to find a guard and throws it up ahead to Rex Winkle. To the corner, Caton, a dribble, Jones deep, 3 is off the glass and no good. Rebound Gorman for Fort Scott with 4:45 to go in the half. Fort Scott leads by 8.
Yeah, deep 3 from Nevaeh Jones there, but I would think we both know that she can make any shot that she puts up. Just a little bit too much power, I think, on that to go in.
4:30 now first half. Martin gets her fingertips on a basketball, but her man picks it up. It's McElroy. Gorman given about 4 feet of room by Caton O'Brien. Labette County in a man-to-man defense. Inside they go, and a foul's called on the backside on Kinsley Boss as Jaden Davis is going to check in for Coach Vollmer. That's going to be Kinsley Boss's first and the team's second of the second quarter.
Yeah, and Kinsley Boss will check out of the ball game, as well as Addison Rexwinkle. And like you said, Jaden Davis did check in, as well as Reagan Roberts.
Allie Brown to inbound for Fort Scott. Goes into Kegler. Comstock at the top. Keegan Yarick on the bench with 3 personal fouls for Fort Scott. Landry O'Brien on the bench with 2 personals for Labette County. Allie Brown hits the deck, a little gimpy getting up, and a turn, shoot, and score is converted by Kylie Comstock, and Fort Scott goes up 10 with 3:55 left in the half.
honestly nothing you could do there. Jaden Davis had really good defense, had her hands up. Just a good shot from Comstock.
Ball goes into Davis, who misses the little bunny. Martin fighting and collecting, saving a possession for Labette County. Caton at the top pulls the trigger for three. You betcha! That's her second three of the game, and Labette County's within 7. This is a big 3-minute stretch here.
That was another deep three from Labette County.
Caton gets a steal up ahead, foul going up, and will shoot 2. A big way to respond by the senior.
Yeah, that shows really great leadership from Caton O'Brien, and she's just trying to help her team any way she can and getting points up on the board, and that's what she's doing.
This is a 15-1 Fort Scott team that's 8-0 in the league. Only loss coming in their mid-season tournament to Nevada as Caton knocks down the first.
Yeah, that loss was by 1 point, too.
Wow, tough squad to beat.
Yeah.
Second free throw up and good as well for Caton. She has 5 straight points, and Labette's within 5 with 3:20 to go in the half. If you can start turning Fort Scott over, which is hard to do, that's where you become truly advantageous. A near travel on Comstock. Gorman to Kegler, short corner. Labette recovers really well as they were beat behind early.
Yeah.
Reagan Roberts in. Kegler turns, shoots, misses. Davis with a good box, but not good enough. But she'll strip it from Comstock. Jaden Davis. Nevaeh up ahead. Doesn't like what she has. Corner Caton, right wing in front of Fort Scott's bench. Bounce pass to Martin. Dribbles into the heart of Comstock. Out to Caton. Right wing. Flips it Jones. Corner Roberts. Dump down Davis, and it's picked away. Comstock on the tip. Kegler on the carom with 2:40 left in the half. Wide open Gorman in the corner. Misses it deep, but there's Kegler, and she'll miss it as well. And it's picked up by Comstock. She'll miss. Ball is on the deck, and Nevaeh Jones has it for Labette County. And it's got to be a jump ball at some point. I'm kind of getting tired of saying the same things. As it's going to stay with Fort Scott here with 2:20 left in the half. Labette County trails by 5.
There's a lot of up and downs in this game right now. Some good, some bad calls, a lot of controversial calls. It's a really great game right now with a lot of substitutions right now coming in. As Fort Scott, number 24, Aubrey Ark will check into the ball game, as well as number 25, J.C. Rogers.
2 of the best teams in the SEK head-to-head here. Labette County down 5. Here's Brown off the curl. Nice play here. She'll miss the jumper. Rebound, Allie Martin. Boy, if Labette County can get stops for the next 2 minutes, even if they don't score, they'd be in a good spot. Here's Caton, right wing to Reagan. Fakes left, looking inside, not there. Davis, well beyond the arc. Now O'Brien, extra pass Poole. Addison Rexwinkle's going to check in. Here's Davis with a tough pass to Roberts. Short corner shot is short. Allie Martin crashes. Roberts hits the deck, and it's ripped out by Fort Scott and will stay with Labette County with 1:46 left in the half. As Addison Rexwinkle does check in for Reagan Roberts.
Really physical and aggressive basketball game we have in our hands right now. Definitely going to come down to the wire.
Caton for 3, up and down! The senior with 3 first half threes. Labette County's within 2. Pressure is applied. Up ahead, bounce pass. That was a dandy, but it's stripped. Davis, jump ball. Labette County possession. Big time sequence for the LC Grizzlies.
Just a turn of events for Fort Scott. I mean, you take out their 2 main players in Yarick and Comstock, and it's a whole new ballgame for Fort Scott.
90 seconds left in the half. 22-20, Labette County down, but boy, they were down 10 earlier. Bounce pass Martin goes up, no whistle, as that's probably a good no call there. And then it's poked out by, they say, Addison, and it'll go to Fort Scott. But man, Labette County went down 10, Ian, and they've responded with an 8-0 run.
Really great job by Labette County to respond to that 10-point lead, like you said, as well as Ken O'Brien just helping our team out in any way as possible, and Jaden Davis coming in with some great minutes. It's been a really great 8-0 run for Labette County.
Gorman with the basketball to Brown. Yarick's been on the bench for a while with 3 personals, as has Landry O'Brien for us with 2. 55 seconds left in the half. 3-pointers up Three-pointers missed by Fort Scott, and Labette County just can't grab it. Poole and Martin exchange laughs, and Fort Scott's fouled underneath. As Allie and Libby kind of looked at each other and laughed while Fort Scott was playing offense. And Fort Scott will shoot 2 free throws with 44 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, as Comstock is at the scores table for Fort Scott. I'm pretty sure she has 3 fouls, or she might have 2, but the Boss twins will check into the ball game. That is Kinsley and Aubrey. Boss coming in for Jaden Davis and Allie Martin, as well as Comstock comes in for Fort Scott.
Second free throw for Rogers is no good. She splits the pair. Big rebound by Kinsley Boss. We'll see what Labette County elects to do here. Caton at the top, head fakes on a 3. Left open, but dishes it off to Poole, right wing. Dribbles with the left, kicks it out to Rexwinkle. Sloppy possession for Labette County. 30 seconds left in the half. Kinsley drives, pulls it back to Caton. She'll drive short corner, pull up with a deep 2. Kinsley with a one-handed snatch, out to Caton in the corner again. Out to Aubrey, extra pass Addison, open for 3, bricked, long rebound to Brown, and yep, that's gonna be called. That's on Addison, but just the 4th team foul for Labette County with 11.9 left in the half. The Grizzlies, a stop here would be nice. As Yarick's gonna check in, understandably, for the last 12 seconds in the second quarter.
It'd be really nice if Labette County can somehow, in this 11.9 seconds, get her to get her 4th foul.
Brown will walk it up, 9 seconds. Labette County was down 10 a little bit ago. Now they're within 3. 4 seconds. Yarick with it.
Nice.
Caton strips it. Caton has 2 seconds. Pulls up, shoots a floater that misses. Caton O'Brien, I don't think it's a stretch to say, is the reason Labette County's within 1 possession at halftime after being down 10, what feels like just moments ago. Caton O'Brien with 13 of Labette County's 20 first half points, but there were a lot of other players that did really good things, and we will talk about that in 3 minutes on the Eye Care Associates of Parsons halftime show. Jack Leake and Ian Harlow with you as part of the Eye Care Associates of Parsons halftime show. At the break from Fort Scott, Lady Tigers are ahead of the Lady Grizzlies 23-20 as they were down 22-12, and then Kaiten O'Brien hit a three, got a steal, made 2 free throws, and hit another three to get Labette County within 3 at the halftime break. Ian, before we get into the statistics as part of the halftime display, rattle off a few of your thoughts on that first half as it felt like Labette County was in the team that was in catch-up mode, mainly because they were, but they never went into panic mode.
No, it definitely seemed like they had everything under control and they didn't have any fright. And coming out to the game, it just kind of came back and forth. But the Fort Scott Lady Tigers had a great start to the ball game, and Comstock definitely looked like she was going to give us some troubles, but Vollmer noticed that, changed some defense up, and put some other people in there that she knew could defend Comstock, and that's what she did. And I think it was a 14-5 lead for Fort Scott, and we rattled back to get within a couple points. I think it was 12-14, and then Fort Scott went on their own run, and then we went on our own run. So it's kind of been a back-and-forth game, and who goes on a run and who goes on a run next, and then I think it'll just mainly come down to who's going to be the team that comes out, who plays defense and go on the largest offensive run, and who's going to come out and guard. And also foul trouble's been a big thing in the first half already, and so it's going to be a very controversial game for both sides of the court. And I think as a player, you just kind of battle through that and not let that affect the ball game and just play your game.
Right. I certainly tip my cap to Labette County's ability, and they've flexed their depth a little bit throughout the season, and there have been situations, I remember in Burlington against Paola, I believe, in the girls' game where we were out to a solid lead, and so Coach Vollmer put in all pretty much the bench players to just finish like the last quarter of the game, basically. And so there have just been a couple moments like that, or even in games where, you know, it's close, she'll throw them in. And it's kind of culminated to the point now where they can play without Landry and hang around. Landry O'Brien, immediately after she picked up that second, Coach Vollmer pulled her and we never saw her again. Whereas with Fort Scott, and I'm not saying I disagree with Coach Steps, I am not, he kept Yarick in the game when she picked up her second early, and she picked up a third closer to half. So am I playing too much chess here? Probably. But Landry is going into the second quarter with 2 personal fouls, which is not considered foul trouble because you still can foul 3 times before you foul out, or 2 times rather. Whereas Yarick, on the first play, she could pick up her 4th. So there's less room to breathe. It adds pressure. It thwarts a little how you play. But Yarick, one of the best players in the league, will certainly know how to handle herself here in the second half. Stats for you for Labette County, 4 different scores. Kaiten O'Brien had 13, Libby Poole had 3, Landry O'Brien had 2, and Jaden Davis had 2 as well. She was a stud in that first half on both ends for Labette County. For Fort Scott, 6 different scores for the Tigers. Yarick had 10, Comstock had 4, McElroy and Brown each had 3, Gorman had 2, and Rogers had 1. At the end of the first quarter, it was Fort Scott 14, Labette County 8. As you're right, Ian, we were down 14-5 with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and Coach Vollmer called a timeout and got into them. She lit into those Grizzlies, and then they did not let Fort Scott score until like the 6-minute mark in the second quarter, and now they're within 3 at halftime. In that second quarter, Labette County outscored Fort Scott 12-9, giving us our halftime score of 23-20. This has been the Eye Care Associates of Parsons halftime show, as the Lady Grizzlies got a long talking to from Coach Vollmer as they just now re-entered the gym. So we will see if the Lady Grizzlies can get a big win on the road in 2 minutes. This is Lady Grizzly basketball. Lady Grizzlies get a steal off the first play of the third quarter. Labette County now with the basketball. Addison at the free throw line to Landry for the tie. Airballs it short as she's only played a few minutes in this game. And then Kaiten O'Brien subsequently pokes it out of bounds, and it'll go to Fort Scott. 30 seconds into the third quarter, each team has had the ball once. Fort Scott has it now.
I think our defense has played really, really great right now, and especially getting the steal off the rip is going to put some pressure on Fort Scott to handle the ball a lot better.
Yarick turns, shoots, and hits from the free throw line. And she has 12 points, and then a foul on Fort Scott, as that's either on Yarick or Gorman.
I think it's Gorman.
That's on Gorman. So that's her second, and the first foul from either team this half. 7:04 third quarter, Fort Scott 25, Labette County 20.
I think Labette County's game plan to do is to go at Yarick or Comstock and get their fouls up and get them in foul trouble.
Kaiten with a drive and a dump to Boss, not there. Swinging it are the Grizzlies. Landry inside Kinsley, turns on Comstock, has to throw an off-balance pass to Jones, who drives. Shoots a tough fader, and that's a foul on Comstock with 6:43 left in the half. That's her second or third with 6:40 left in the third. That's just her second. Nevaeh will shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, really aggressive take from Nevaeh Jones. I think that's really a thing that she's developed really great at, and she's improving. She can hit outside shots in, she can drive in on you and make you pay for that. She did make her first free throw and did make her second free throw as well.
Ball goes into Comstock for the Fort. 6:40 third quarter. Landry gets a fingertip on it, is able to steal it. Right hand layup, good! Labette County within one with 6:30 to go in the third quarter. Up ahead to Yarick, now Comstock, closed out on by Boss. Good defense by Labette, they've got to recover. They're triple teaming Comstock, and the third foul on Landry's called in. Labette County just had, when you triple team, it's tough to get out of that.
Oh yeah, but when you do get out of it, it can cause a lot of problems. As that's, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Landry's third foul.
Ball goes into Fort Scott. 6:15 left in the third. 25-24 Fort Scott. Brown left wing to extend the lead. Misses it. Rebound Kaiten O'Brien. We will see if Labette County can get the lead, how things change. Kaiten to the corner. Nevaeh Jones back to Kaiten O'Brien. Fort Scott in a 2-3. Nevaeh inside Kinsley. Working on Comstock. Fading hook missed. Rebound Yarick.
Not a bad shot from Boss, just didn't make it convert.
Kegler with a miss, and a bunny is missed by Comstock. Long rebound tipped about. Gorman has it. Labette County struggling to grab that rock as a foul on Rexwinkle as she was trying to defend Comstock. 25-24 is the score with 5:30 left in the third. That's the third on Addison. 5:30 left in the third. Ball will go in for Fort Scott. Brown throws it to Yarick, leaves the ground to get it. She'll pull up from the top of the key and bang it.
Wow.
She doesn't really miss that often, and Fort Scott's back up 4. She has 15.
No, you can't give her any room to shoot that ball or she's going to make it, and you're going to have to pay.
Labette County has to get it across half court, and they do. Aubrey Boss in the corner, deep. 2 is deep. Nevaeh fighting, and that's off Kegler.
Nice.
It'll stay with Labette County with 5:09 left in the third. Jaden Davis checks in for Kinsley Boss, and for Fort Scott, J.C. Rogers comes in for Kegler.
Jaden Davis has put some good minutes for us on the court. I expect her to make some big moves for us.
Kaiten throws it into Landry to Davis. Set play. Kaiten squares it up for 3. Misses it right. Rebound off. It stayed in.
Nice.
Nevaeh saved it. My goodness. Kaiten with a floater. Good. I couldn't see on the other side of
I
the
don't know
official.
how we got that.
Unbelievable save in the corner.
Labette County playing really great defense right now, just maybe be a little too aggressive, and people are open as Yark will hit a really, really long two-pointer to fall for her.
And then Nevaeh Jones travels. She turned into the chest of Yarrick. As did they call that a 2 or a 3?
Should be a 2. I don't think she was behind the line, but
they called it a 3.
Wow, really?
31-26, Fort Scott back up 5 with 4:36 left in the third and the basketball. Yarrick with 18 points. I don't think she's missed a 3.
Doesn't seem like she's missing anytime soon, to be honest.
O'Brien swipes on Brown, and good defense by Labette County, but the ball trickles right to the Tigers, and Comstock's fouled going up, and he'll shoot 2. Good defense by Labette County, but Fort Scott was kind of in the right place there at the right time.
Yeah. As you may hear the coaching staff just basically griping at their players to box out a little better, and that wouldn't happen as Comstock will make her first free throw, and Libby Poole will check into the ball game for Landry O'Brien. As Jay Davis did pick up her 3rd foul. I don't know if you mentioned that, but that's really big for Fort Scott because Jay Davis has played some really great minutes for us.
She's certainly posed the biggest threat internally, defensively, against the Tigers. Comstock, her second, a few low dribbles, lets it fly and hits it. Labette County never could quite get over the hump, but still more than enough time to do so. Down by 7 are the Grizzlies. Long pass to Libby Poole is collected. She'll pick up her dribble, throw it to Davis. Right elbow Jay hits the front of the rim and falls down. Jaden Davis with her first 2-point bucket. She has 4. Labette within 5.
Nice.
And then Caton gets a steal. Ball's on the deck, and it's ripped out of her hands by Yarrick and then goes off of Caton. It'll stay with Fort Scott, but Caton and O'Brien is giving the Tigers some fits in the full court situations.
Yeah, Caton playing really great and just hustling everywhere she is at right now.
Brown trying to get downhill. Yarrick didn't head fake, but Poole jumped anyways. Brown rips a 3, misses it. Gorman with a board, puts the ball on the deck. Yarrick wide open and missed it short. Davis with a strong board, trying to find someone to throw it to, and gets it to Boss. Ball's on the deck. Davis hits it hard. Here's Brown with it for Fort Scott. Gorman underneath, off the glass, good. Those are the biggest momentum builders anyone can possibly create.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Labette County responds here on the road. Down 7 again, 3:15 third quarter. And an offensive foul's called on Aubrey Boss going the other way. Landry will check back in for Libby. A couple things just didn't quite go Labette County's way there, not because of a lack of effort.
Yeah, I may disagree a little bit with that call. It kind of just seemed like she was trying to turn her body around, and her momentum was going inside, just trying to force herself to turn around, and I think referee saw a push-off instead, so he called that.
Nevaeh Jones reads the eyes of Brown beautifully, gets to the rack and misses the layup. Rebound Yarrick, and then I think a foul going the other way on Labette County, and it is. Jones with a tough one, a right-handed player closing in on the left side of the rim, and Brown closed out nicely as, wow, that's 5 team fouls on Labette County with 3 minutes to play in the third.
Zally Martin will check into the game for Aubrey Boss. So yeah, like you said, 5 fouls on Labette County already. So Fort Scott will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws, as Yarrick is the free throw person who has the line.
She'll make the first to get Fort Scott up to 8 with 3 minutes left in the third. If she hits this one, it pops it back out to 9. Labette County was down 8 and 10 in 2 different sequences in the first half. And another loose ball's on the deck, as we just need a jump ball at this point. I think we have the arrow.
Yeah, we do.
As they do get a jump ball. And so Labette County will have the ball down 8 with 3 minutes left in the third. No reason to panic. Labette County has played pretty darn well here on the road, as Martin hesitates, now gets it across to Landry. They punch it to the paint to Davis. Goes one-on-one, gives it to Martin, hangs, and is fouled. And Allie will shoot 2 free throws. Labette County going to back going back to what worked in that first half, punch the ball in the paint.
Yeah, really good pass from Jane Davis inside to Allie Martin, as she just had good awareness to recognize Allie Martin was wide open and had a good pass inside to force her to go to the line. Kinsley Boss will check in the game for Jaden Davis.
Martin missed the first. The second is suspended and is off to the left. Rebound Yarick. Boy, are they. Fort Scott is really good and still maybe the best team in the league without Yarick. But when she's in, boy.
A whole different team.
Here's a three-point shot in the right wing, short, and Yarick's there to Brown. Head fakes, drives, floater, good.
Yeah, back to a 10-point deficit for Labette County. And biggest thing right here is just to respond back with a score to kill momentum.
Martin with a floater, air ball, rebound Fort Scott. They're out and running. Good ball handler McElroy loses it. It's on the deck. Nevaeh hits it, gives it to Landry. Up ahead, left hand, good.
Yeah, really good job from Nevaeh to stop the ball at half court and then to pass it to Landry to get a good finish for us.
38-30 Fort Scott, minute 50, third quarter. That's a big swing for Labette, because if they don't get a steal there, they could be down 12 or 13. But instead, Landry O'Brien gets them within 8. Caton suffocating Allie Brown. Yarick away from the ball. Screens are set. Backdoor floater. Missed. Rebound Landry. Labette needs to win this next 90 seconds. Here's Caton ahead of the pack. Drives. Uncontested. Floater. Missed it deep. Rebound underneath. Martin, I think, traveled before the shot. Turnover Grizzlies. But still a positive sequence by Labette County that's close to getting back within 4 as Comstock replaces McElroy.
I don't know if you recognize this, but just a really good job from Yari to not go at Caton O'Brien to get her to a potential 4 fouls instead of laying back and having Caton come to her instead and maybe get a charge.
Here's Brown. Fort Scott with numbers. Long 2, good.
Just a good shot and good make from Fort Scott.
Caton O'Brien walks it up. Brown offset to her right just a little. O'Brien throws it to Landry near half court at the red Fort Scott Tiger paw. Now they go inside. Kinsley, little floater off the glass, good, with 47 seconds left in the third quarter. Labette County down 8. This was a 3-point game at the break. Labette's had to battle through a couple deficits.
I think biggest thing for Labette County is just don't have Fort Scott score.
Brown misses the floater. Step number 1 of the Ian Harlow curriculum completed. Caton drives, head fakes, has it blocked from behind. Yarick with the board and a foul on Labette County afterwards. And Yarick's going to shoot 2 more free throws. Man, Labette has had every right to be within 4 right now, and it hasn't necessarily been their own fault that they aren't. They've had great high percentage looks.
Yeah, honestly, just props to Fort Scott for making all their shots that they've been given and not missing them and making us pay.
That was on Caton, her second, and the team has well surpassed 5 team fouls. That has not helped us in this quarter. Yarick makes the first. The second is on its way, and no good. Rebound by Labette County. You don't want to give Fort Scott another look here with 15 seconds left in the third. Labette County down 9. Caton at the top, closed out on. Landry wasn't ready, and Yarick intercepts it and hits Comstock in the face. Now Fort Scott has the perfect amount of time. 3 seconds. Yarick floater short. That was a gift. Rebound Kinsley, and the buzzer's going to sound. Although Labette County's down 9, they did just dodge a bullet. Boy, Labette County had a few chances to get within 4 again, just couldn't quite make it happen. But those are all positive signs that they can still make it happen in the final quarter. Back in 1 minute from Fort Scott, this is Grizzly Basketball on KLKC.
My name is Bria, and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few days, we are here at Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South to help get you well without any interruption in transition of care. Just ask for Meds to Beds. At Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South, we are here for you today and we are here for you tomorrow.
(41-39), Fort Scott will begin the fourth quarter with the basketball. 5 on the floor for Labette are the O'Brien sisters, Jaden Davis, Kinsley Boss, and Nevaeh Jones. Yarrick has the ball poked out of her possession by Landry. Here's Brown. Tough two-pointer is strong. Rebound fought for. There's Comstock off the tip. Fell down. Tried to shoot it but airballed. Rebound Boss, who tries to find somebody and finds Landry. Long pass Davis. Up ahead. Right-hand layup. Up and missed. Rebound Yarrick. Those are so hard to make as Caton's going to get a foul called on her. And with 7:30 left in the game, that's Caton's third and the team's first of the quarter. Keegan Yarrick still only has 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Labette County in this final fourth quarter is to play really good defense and stop Fort Scott from scoring because they've been taking every advantage they've been given in scoring.
Caton O'Brien swipes at it again. Ball's on the deck. Jump ball to Labette County. Boy, if you look away for a second and try to exhale, Caton O'Brien's right hand will be there in about 0.3 seconds.
Oh yeah, you cannot go anywhere without Caton O'Brien breathing down your back.
Ball goes to her left wing, lets it rip, misses it left, tough one. Rebound Yarrick in the short corner, and she'll waltz it up left to right. Forwards it, Kegler in front of her head coach, back to Yarrick. Pulls it down, Kegler, they go in. Comstock with Landry on her. Up, under, and in. And Fort Scott's up 11 with 6:45 left in the game.
Labette County has to get a score here. As Kinsley Boss will just throw it just a little bit over Kinsley Boss's head. And it will go out of bounds.
6:36 left in the game. Ball goes into Kegler. Back to Yarrick, to Brown. Breaks the timeline, spins. She's been harassed a lot tonight. Played well, but turned it over a little more than she normally does. And Labette County gets a foul called on them, and they just kind of sag their shoulders because they feel they're doing all they can defensively, and it's being penalized by whistles. That's 2 as a team this quarter for our Grizzlies. 6:20 left in the game, and the second on Kinsley Boss. Ball goes in, tipped by Davis, stolen by Landry. Well out ahead of the pack. Closing in is Yarrick. She'll shoot and score with the right hand. Landry's been the beneficiary of a few breakaway layups. Fort Scott breaks the press and has numbers. Comstock left to right. The big pulls it down and finds Brown with 6:05 left. Gorman, right wing, double teamed by O'Brien and Jones to the corner. Inside Davis is a foul called on Jaden, the team's third and her fourth, I think, as 3 Grizzlies are set to check in here.
Addison Rexwinkle, Libby Poole, and Allie Martin check into the ball game for Labette County.
6 minutes to go in the game. Fort Scott by 9. Labette County's been down by 10, 8, and 12 and fought back from all of them. Here's Caton with the steal, up ahead, and she'll be fouled going up and will shoot 2. Allie Brown with nice recovery defense. Fort Scott's point guards have struggled to maintain possession when they've had stagnant sets. and Labette County's really taken advantage. Caton's first is strong and no good. One more for the senior guard.
I think these are some big points. I think, honestly, Labette County just needs to take advantage of anything that they're given, and Kate O'Brien will make her second free throw. So really good job for splitting the pair and at least putting a point on the board for us.
Caton tips a pass after the inbounds, but Fort Scott maintains. Rexwinkle riding the hip of Yarick. She'll rise, fire, and hit. Her body control is something that might go overlooked because she can shoot more than when she's just open. Here's Landry, a similar shot, airballed short, rebound Yarick. Up ahead to Gorman.
Wow.
Fort Scott with numbers. 2-on-1. Gorman dumped down Brown. Gets her man to bite. Shoots and misses. Rebound Libby Poole. Caton right to left. Labette County down 10. She'll pull it back. Has two girls on her. Shoots it. And she tried to get a shooting foul, but it's going to be on the floor. And Labette County will inbound.
That was honestly kind of smart by Caton to just throw it up and maybe get a foul call there.
45-35 Fort Scott. Labette County has been in this game, as I don't think we've had a coach call a timeout in this quarter. Maybe in the second half, Ian. These girls got to be a little tired.
As Rogers will check into the game for Comstock, but like you said, it just seems like it's been an up and down game and there's been no stoppages.
Landry launches a deep three from Altamont and misses it strong. Brown on a take, scores with the left. Timeout, Coach Steps, as this one begins to slip away, but Labette County with still enough time left to maybe grab it back. Down by 12 with 5 minutes left. It's a full timeout. We'll thank some sponsors and send it to a break. A few sponsors are Labette Center for Mental Health Services, Community National Bank, Tank Connection, Wood Insurance Center, USD 506, The Corner Store of Altamont, Olson Ace Hardware, and SEK Orthopedics, Doctors Mosier and Meister. We'll be back in 30 seconds from Fort Scott. Five minutes to play from Fort Scott. 47-35. Lady Tigers in front. Out of a Fort Scott timeout, Labette County will have the ball, working the floor right to left as we sit courtside. As our seats are almost closer than the bench seats to my left. As, man, I'm telling you, we're close.
Oh yeah, we're really close, and it feels like we're right in the game with them.
If I lean forward, Labette County might get a tech for 6 men on the court. Caton O'Brien launches a three, misses it. Rebound, Libby Poole. Landry O'Brien on the outlet, dump down alley. She'll turn and face, try to create, shoot, miss it to the right. Rebound, Yarick. And she'll forward the pass to Gorman. Yarick has had nearly every defensive rebound for the team in white tonight.
Which is impressive because she's had 3 fouls this whole second half, and I don't think she's picked up another one after halftime.
Yeah, and her aggressiveness level has not dipped at all. Yarick, right wing, goes ahead and pulls it. In and out. Brown's there, though. She'll turn, fire, and miss with the right hand. And the ball goes out of bounds off Fort Scott. Labette County possession with 4:08 left in the game. 3 Grizzlies check in.
Yeah, Jaden Davis, Aubrey Boss, and I think, was it Kinsley Boss? Yes. So the Boss twins and Jaden Davis are in the game for Labette County. So a bigger set down in the post and only 2 guards for Labette County. Kind of something uncommon, I feel like, with Labette County.
Dumped down to Davis with a little advantage. Shoots a right-handed shot under the right armpit of Comstock. Comstock, as Jaden's fouled, then will shoot 2. kind of a nice shot creation there by Jaden.
Oh, yeah.
If she would have shot it with her left or over her head, it would have been blocked. So she kind of scooped it and went under Comstock. First free throw is good. Jaden has 5 points on the game now. 3:52 left. This can get Labette County within 10, and she hits it. Very manageable.
Yeah, big free throws from Jane Davis there, and really clutch to hit those for us.
Comstock riding the bench. They trap. Get out of it. Brown at the top. Dribbles with the left, turns to Landry, throws it away. Boy, the O'Brien sisters have given Brown troubles. Caton with the right hand scores. Labette County within 8. Yarick inbounds it to Brown, and a foul is called on Labette County, the 4th as a team. Fort Scott has 3 currently with 3:30 left in the game. And that's four fouls on Caton O'Brien. She won't come out.
No, definitely need her in the ballgame for Labette County. Just has to be really careful on defense not to pick up that 5th.
Gorman rides the short corner, or the baseline rather, poked out by Landry. As sometimes whenever a team has a good lead late, they tend to have a few possessions of stagnancy simply because they try to play conservative, as I shouldn't have said that. That's my bad, Coach. That's my bad. As a long inbounds pass goes from Yarick to Comstock, and she scores. Labette County looking to answer yet again, though.
Yeah, that was a really good pass from Yarick to Comstock and just wide open.
A foul on Comstock, as catching it down low was Kinsley Boss. 49-39, Fort Scott in front with 3:08 left in the game. As she wasn't shooting, it shouldn't be free throws, I don't think, as each team just has four team fouls. As I'm not sure if the refs realize it, Fort Scott's bench is saying that it's 4.
I think the referee saying it's 5.
The refs are saying it's 5, but I think it's only 4 on Fort Scott, and they should inbound it here, but
I wouldn't mind free throws.
No, I certainly wouldn't, but I wouldn't mind inbounding it either way, as the refs are converging a little bit here with the scores table, as it is 4 team fouls, and Labette County will inbound. 3:08 left. They trail Fort Scott by 10. Caton O'Brien, the inbounder. Fort Scott in a 2-3 zone to open. Goes to Davis, right elbow, wide open. Head fakes, drives, floater, off the glass, good.
Wow.
Jaden Davis is fantastic. Labette County gets within 8 with 3:03 left in the contest, and Jaden Davis has risen her margin to 8 points on the game. Back in 30 seconds with hopefully a tight finish here up north.
V93.5 is your home for the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. Get your day started with the Anna and Raven Morning Show. You're the judge during couples court. Couples share their disagreement, and then you decide who's right. Think you know pop culture trivia? It could pay off, and you score the cash jackpot when you play Can't Beat Raven. Kraus in the house gets you home every weekday afternoon starting at 2. Stream us anytime, anywhere at KLKCradio.com.
Labette County making one final push here in the Tigers cage, or whatever they call it. This gym and Labette County's gym are a couple of the few that kind of take you back in time a little bit. That retro feel to it, historic feel, as it's a little darker in here. They have a risen balcony with bleachers below it, kind of like a Harrison, but smaller. It's like a mini Harrison, kind of, a little darker as well.
If you haven't been to Harrison, I highly suggest it because it's an amazing atmosphere there, and just it's awesome to be there and watch games.
Your last chance will be on Friday. Labette County gets a steal. Caton drives short corner, backside block, layup, good. Aubrey Boss on the score. O'Brien on the feed. Ball goes in. Fort Scott nearly turns it over yet again, but they maintain. Left to right, Fort Scott with it. Up by 6 with 2:40 left. Will the Tigers get tight or go to their senior guard? They throw it away. Turnover Tigers. Labette County with it, down 6 with 2:30 left.
I think Caton's playing really great with 4 fouls right now, not getting that 5th one on her. Just been a big factor for our defense and scoring.
Allie Brown struggled a little against our perimeter defense as a travel's called on Kinsley Boss, and it'll go to Fort Scott with 2:22 left in the game. Pressure is still on the home team, though. Comstock to inbound. Hovers, tosses, Brown far corner. Double team comes. Landry hits the deck. She seems to be okay. Now comes from behind the play. Ball's on the deck. Labette picks it up. Caton right hand layup, good. Labette County within 4 with 2:08 left. We have a timeout. Fort Scott. Labette County goes on a quick little 4-0 run there during that, or after that previous timeout rather. It's a 30-second Fort Scott timeout. We'll keep it here and chat a little bit. 49-45, Labette County down here at Fort Scott with 2:05 left. Each team with 4 team fouls. And each team, I already lost track, has a couple players that have 3 or 4 fouls, as I believe Katon O'Brien has 4 for Labette County, Landry O'Brien has 3, and Keegan Yarrick has 3 for Fort Scott. Ian, Labette County was down 10 and 8 in the first half and clawed their way back. It was a 3-point game at the break. Fort Scott went up 12 this half. I know double digits.
Yeah, I think it was 12 or... Yeah, I think it was 12. I think you're correct.
As it was 10 about 3 minutes ago, 49-39. Now Labette is on a 6-0 run.
Within 4, they're very capable of getting this win right now. They just need to tie down and relax and play their ball game because there's still 2 minutes right now. They don't have to push everything. And
right.
There's plenty of time left in this game.
And defensively, it's not like you have to foul, you know. I mean, still time to play defense, and hopefully Fort Scott makes a mistake. Allie Brown, right wing, defended by Boss.
Whoa.
Boss pokes at it, and a foul on Aubrey's called as she'll gather herself and make her way down on the blocks. 5 on the floor for Labette County. Katon O'Brien, Landry O'Brien, Aubrey and Kinsley Boss, and Jaden Davis. And Brown with her first trip to the free throw stripe. Takes a couple dribbles, lets it rip, and misses it off to the left after it dipped down and then came back out.
Addison Rexman will check in the game for Aubrey Boss.
Allie Brown, second free throw is on its way and good. She has 10 on the game, 7 in the second half. Labette up ahead. Rexwinkle drives to the corner. Caton drives, goes into Davis. Up, under, off the glass. Perfect. Jaden Davis. A poetic move underneath. Labette County within 3 with 90 seconds left. Landry on Yarrick, the ball handler. Gorman pops to collect.
No.
Goes to the right. Caton swipes but misses. Gorman wants to get rid of it but can't. Tries to find Brown. She's not open. Timeout, coach steps. Fort Scott's point guards are a little anxious right now, and I can't blame them. Let's take a quick 30 on KLKC.
My name is Bria, and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy.
With many years of combined experience, Eye Care Associates of Parsons has set the framework in providing comprehensive eye health examinations for all ages and routine vision care for families throughout the 4-state area. Our optometrists and staff provide remarkable care with state-of-the-art technology to help with diagnosis and management of eye health conditions. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your next eye exam. Eye Care Associates of Parsons. Experience modern eye care.
Fort Scott will have the basketball out of a Coach Steps timeout. 1:21 left in the game here in Fort Scott. 50-47, Lady Tigers over the Lady Grizzlies. Yarrick to inbound. Hovers, throws it in. She collects it back. Short corner. Yarrick has it stripped. Oh, wow, a foul called on Landry, as that was a really, really good steal by Landry. But a foul's called in. That's her 4th or 5th, I think, as that's her 4th with 1:18 left. Oh, boy. Wow. That looked like all ball. Yarrick's first is good.
Yeah, that was, wow, I thought that was all ball, clear as day, but just unlucky for Landry and Labette County.
Yarick's second is up and good. Fort Scott by 5 with 1:15 left. Labette having to overcome what I feel like was a poor whistle there. Here's Kinsley at the top to Caton in the corner. 1:05 left, she'll drive, shoot a tough floater that goes to Yarick backside. Caton swipes but misses. Rexwinkle double teams and a foul, as that's not the one you want to foul, but I don't blame him for go ahead and doing so. Kinsley fouls Yarick, and she'll shoot 2 more as she's 4 for 6 from the line in this one. Fort Scott's up 5 with 60 seconds left in the game, just under.
Yeah, and that'll go as Kinsley's 3rd foul of the ball game, as well as Yarick will miss her first free throw attempt. And Nevaeh Jones will come in for Kinsley box.
52-47, Fort Scott in front. Yarick with 1 more free throw. Collects the basketball. Quiet Jim here in Fort Scott. Second free throw up and good. She has split every pair but 2 where she hit, or 1 pair where she hit both. Long pass to Nevaeh. Left wing corrals it to Caton. Deep 3, but she traveled before she shot it. I don't see really how that's, as right in front of us, Coach Vollmer's getting an explanation. 53 seconds left in the game. Fort Scott has it up by 6. That hurts. Fort Scott to inbound in front of us. They're looking for Yarick, and she'll pitch it in to J.C. Rogers. Labette swipes but misses again. Those have been there, but Fort Scott holding it tighter here late in this one. Yarick won't pass unless she has to, and she does. Brown at the top. Rexwinkle. I thought she was going to foul Brown. 35 seconds left. Labette County gets a steal. Here's Landry along the far baseline. She'll cross hands right to left, kick it out to Jones. Head fakes, open left wing 3. Gets it! Labette County within 3 with 24.2 left. Nevaeh Jones head fakes, shimmy shakes, and buries it here in Fort Scott. We'll take a 30-second break and chat for a bit when we return on KLKC.
V93.5 is your home for the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. Get your day started with the Anna and Raven Morning Show. You're the judge during couples court. Couples share their disagreement, and then you decide who's right. Think you know pop culture trivia? It could pay off, and you score the cash jackpot when you play Can't Beat Raven. Krause in the House gets you home every weekday afternoon starting at 2. Stream us anytime, anywhere at KLKCradio.com.
53-40. I'm sorry, 53-50. Fort Scott in front of Labette County with 24.2 seconds left. Labette County let Fort Scott have the ball for a lot of time in that possession, but it paid off because they got a steal rather than a foul, and Nevaeh hit a 3 on this end.
Yeah, I mean, and what a 3-point shot from Nevaeh Jones as well to fake it, because most people would just shoot that right away.
Yarick to throw it in, pitches it to Brown, who will inbound a deep pass. Jaden Davis intercepts it. Labette County has the ball down 3 with 17 seconds left. Rexwinkle to Davis inside. Shoots, scores. Labette County within 1 with 12 seconds left. Jaden Davis went from cornerback to score.
Oh my goodness.
53-52, 12.6 left, as I'm kind of glad Labette County didn't shoot a 3 there. I mean, if it's there, take it, but a lot of teams get anxious and force it. They stayed composed and went to Davis, who has been a rock offensively and defensively for Labette County. Now you do 2 things, Ian. Trust me, I'll let you talk in a second.
Go ahead.
Fort Scott has to get the ball in, and then you put pressure on the free throw line, because you know, if they go make one, miss one, it's a 2-point game, and you can, you know.
Yeah, or you make both, and it's a 3-point game. I mean, it's good for Labette County both ways. It's just going to come down to the wire. And honestly, just props to Fort Scott for that inbounds play, because that was really unique. You don't see that very often, but just even better from Jaden Davis to intercept that and then to return by a score on the other end for us. So just,
I swear she teleported. I don't know how she got.
I never saw her.
Me neither. She went from half court intercepting the pass to the right block scoring. She has a dozen
She's been great for us this game.
53-52 Fort Scott as the hum plays here in the gym. 12.6 seconds left to inbound the basketball is J.C. Rogers. Holds it eye level. Teeter-totters the baseline, throws it into the far side Comstock. Oh, Landry O'Brien intercepts it, shoots and is fouled. And with 8.6 seconds left in the game, Landry O'Brien is going to head to the free throw stripe. Labette County's down 1. Two big free throws here for Landry O'Brien at the stripe. She has 8 points on the game, with her first trip to the line being right now. Fort Scott's home crowd trying to get in Landry's head. First free throw is strong. Landry has one more. 8.6 seconds left. 53-52, Fort Scott in front.
A lot of pressure at the free throw line, but what you do is just take a deep breath and make your shot, just like she did right there.
Tied game at 53, long ways to go. Yarick, ball is in, rides the right baseline. 3 seconds, gets inside, shoots, misses it. Rebound fought for at the buzzer. Fort Scott scores plus the foul. Allie Brown scores underneath. And that might do it here at Fort Scott. Yarick had a decent look with the right hand, missed it, and there was Brown, who had hurt us on the offensive glass. That's 5 on Jaden Davis. She had 12 points and was fantastic every second she was in the game. And this is a heartbreaker. Labette County's come a long way since we lost to these guys by 17 at home on January 5th. As Brown throws it off the backboard, as I think the ball had to hit the rim and she didn't understand that. So Labette County will have 0.1 seconds to inbound it, down by 2, as hopefully the scoreboard operator maybe hesitates when they try to start the clock or something like that. As Addison Rexwinkle's gonna hurl it as far as she can with 0.1 left. She'll let it fly. Boss comes to get it, it hits her leg and the buzzer sounds, and Labette County loses a heartbreaker here on the road off of an Allie Brown layup with 0.1 seconds left. Landry O'Brien tied the game at the free throw line with 8 seconds left, and Fort Scott had just the right amount of time, fortunate for them, to get the full length. The ball went into their senior, and the junior guard got it done. Boy, has Labette County come a long way, and they are playing really good ball here as of late.
I mean, just a tough loss, but honestly, if you're Vollmer, you take a lot of information from that game, especially from Jane Davis, who had a lot of good minutes out there for you and played very, very well as Kaden O'Brien, who had great points, and Nevaeh Jones with a knockdown three-pointer to get the game within 3, and then as well as Landry O'Brien getting to the free throw line to tie the ball game up for us. There was a lot of things. There was a lot of controversial calls as well for both sides, but just a lot of information if you're a Bomber to take in, especially against a really great Fort Scott team. I think it's just a great look to only lose by 2 to a really great Fort Scott team who's only lost 1 game.
21-14, Labette County outscored Fort Scott in the fourth quarter. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back with the Bowen Pharmacy postgame show of Lady Grizzly basketball. Labette County Lady Grizzlies fall 55-53 here at Fort Scott. I'm hurting a little after that one, Ian, and so I can only imagine how those girls feel. I certainly feel bad for them, but then again, man, if you draw the Lady Grizzlies in your sub-state bracket,
good luck.
Well, I'm not trying. I don't want to sound arrogant from that point of view. I'm just saying this team's playing really good basketball right now.
Yeah.
They're playing really strong. They've cleaned up a lot of things that they did not early on in the season. They're playing with that same motor, that same aggressor, that same mentality, except the mistakes have gone down so much. And we're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor that they've implemented throughout practices between the beginning of the season and now, and a team that was undefeated in league play, one loss on the year by 1 point, beat us at home by 17, just won off of a putback with 0.1 seconds left in the game. Granted, the game would have gone to overtime even if Brown missed, so who's to say if we would have won or lost in overtime. But my point is, credit the Lady Grizzlies for simply, I know they don't want moral victories. I get it.
Yeah.
But they are playing their hearts out, and this is the closest I've been to it all year. Courtside, 5 feet from the court. You could see it in their eyes, feel it from their body language. I'm happy for how well they're playing right now.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with everything you said, Jack. I 100% agree with everything. I'm happy too with how they played this game and to fight through adversity and to come back when they were down. It felt like everything was going against them. To come back and tie it with 10 seconds remaining in the game, and just unfortunately lose like that is a heartbreaker, yes. But I think you go into the next games with a lot of pride on your shoulder. To lose a game, I'm not trying to make this sound like we just won, but you should have a lot of pride losing a game by only 2 points against a Fort Scott team who's really well-rounded with only one loss. Especially on the road at Fort Scott, it's even tougher to win on road games as well. So losing at 17 at home was a really big deficit, and it hurt us a lot. So I think this was our redemption game to come at them, and unfortunately we did lose, but a lot of great things to look at and to come away with after this game, and a lot of players who stepped up for us and came into their roles and did what they needed to do for us to come and almost win this game. So like you said, Sub-State's going to be really great whenever it comes around, and I just think that our team is just as good as any other team, and we can stick with whoever we can in the tournament and when that comes around.
Scoring totals for you. For Labette County, Katon O'Brien had 20. Jaden Davis had 12. She was unreal down low, finding ways to score, finding ways to collect, finish in traffic. Landry O'Brien had 9, Nevaeh Jones had 5, Libby Poole had 3, Kinsley and Aubrey Boss each had 2. Keegan Yarrick had 25 for Fort Scott, Allie Brown had 12, Comstock had 10, Gorman had 4, McElroy had 3, and Rogers had 1. As Labette County did outscore Fort Scott 21-14 in the fourth quarter, and we'll be joined by Coach Vollmer of the Varsity Lady Grizzlies in 30 seconds here on KLKC. Welcome back to the Bowen Pharmacy postgame show of Lady Grizzly basketball, as we're now joined by head coach of those Lady Grizzlies, Brianna Vollmer. Coach, the heart was left on the floor, without question. How did you see that fourth quarter run down? Talk about anything you'd like, but turned them over, got back in the game, down double digits 2 or 3 times, tied it with 8 seconds left. The heart is all over that hardwood. Switch her mic up real quick. Here we go.
Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. Absolutely. I think my kids left it all out there. I think the only I got to catch my breath. That was intense. My kids did everything I asked them to do. We've been in this moment, 2 or 3 times now. We were in this moment against Ottawa, a little bit against Ottawa, and then we came roaring back against Indy and had a look at it, and it's the same situation. And had things fallen and a couple calls not made and the shot not fallen, we would be going into overtime, and it just didn't happen. But I can't take away from my kids. They laid it all out there, and again, I had kids coming off the bench. I had everybody did their job, and that's what I asked them to do. I would have loved to have one more timeout in my back pocket to set up some sort of a defense. We're screaming at them, but it's different, for high school kids to realize, hey, it's a tied ball game, and, try to get that out of your mouth in about 10 seconds that she was about to shoot free throws. But it was a great ball game. That was fun.
That was fun. 2 of the best teams in the SEK. No argument can be made, especially after that one. 2 great teams, well coached by yourself and Coach Steps. That was a blast and a treat to watch. It felt like the Indy game at Burlington in terms of this. You could kind of feel it when the pressure flipped. Their guards were feeling us, and I mean feeling us.
Yeah.
They turned it over a lot.
They did. They turned it over, and they panicked. And, I told them in the locker room, I think a victory was that, Coach Steps drew up a plan, and they didn't execute it. We turned them over, and, we didn't falter. We haven't seen something like that, and we've talked about it. We've talked about all the scenarios of what coaches could run towards the end of a game and what that looks like, and we held true, and they listened in the timeout, and we said, hey, you're going to play center field back here and go get a ball, and they did it and got to the rim, and luckily I had a timeout then, and it was awesome. They executed. My heart breaks for my kids, and if a couple more things would have happened, we'd be walking away winners right now. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. The number 1 team in the East right now, we had them on the ropes, and we had them scared, and that's all you can ask from your kids. And I told my kids, let this be something that we take steps forward, not steps backwards, and I think we're going to do that going into Friday. Yeah,
this is a team I certainly wouldn't want to play, and never was in a poor position this season. I thought you've been good from the jump, but I still feel like came a long way. Just how do you see the growth of this team? Because they were never in a bad place. It's not like we came from the depths of losing, but how do you view this team's growth?
It's just unbelievable. I think our biggest growth we've made is from our bench. I think, whether you talk about the Boss Twins, whether you talk about Jaden Davis coming in, whether you talk about literally anybody that steps up onto the floor, this is a completely unselfish team. I had some starters over here on the bench towards the end of the game, and they were in it just like they were on the basketball floor, and it's unselfishness, and this is a fun group to watch, and I think they've become more fun to coach because they've been so unselfish in moments like that and celebrating their teammates, and hey, I'm going to step on, and if it's 30 seconds here, it's 30 seconds there, and we've made exponential growth as far as that goes. We're still working on sharing the basketball like any team. We're an offensive-minded team, and we want to continue to get to the rim, and against teams like this that slow us way down, I think we're more patient. Really early we were like, oh, shoot, we pushed the panic button. We've gotten better in that regard. We're really good when we're down, unfortunately. I hate getting in that position, but sometimes that's how it goes, and we never look back, and this team's really fun. They're going to be really fun to watch these last few games.
I don't know how the postseason looks. I haven't looked at regions, but if we got another crack at them, that'd be a good time. So best of luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks for Coach Vollmer. I can only imagine. That is a heartbreaking loss. Shows character for her to trot over here and have a great word with us and accept that one like a champ and move on to the next. This has been the Bowen Pharmacy post-game show of Lady Grizzly basketball. Lady Grizzlies fall 55-53 and are now 3 games out of first place. Fort Scott goes to 9-0 in the league. Labette County to 6-3. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the Tank Connection pregame show for the boys game. Welcome in, Grizzly fans, to the Tank Connection pregame show of Labette County Grizzly basketball. As I will give you a notice, as I'm going to do the pregame show for this one, and we'll take a break, and then at tip-off, when it returns, John Kohler, the color commentator for football, will be manning the ship with Ian. John will do play-by-play, Ian will do color commentary. It will be John Kohler's first ever time doing play-by-play for us here at KLKC, as he will be filling in for me on Friday evening for the Atchison game at home. So we're giving John a run at it here tonight at Fort Scott. Can't wait to listen to him do a fantastic job on Friday and for the first half of tonight's boys game. But Ian, it doesn't get any easier when you switch over to the men's side of things, as Fort Scott did take a pretty tough loss on the chin at Chanute. They lost, I believe, by 19. Fort Scott lost at Chanute, but still a really impressive team. Not a deep one, but they're pretty top-heavy, and their top's really good.
Yeah, they have really good guards on their team, really great post down at Rocco Lafredo, and I mean, their guards can shoot, they can play make, and I think that's one thing that Fort Scott has pretty well. But I think recently Labette County's been playing a lot of good basketball as well, especially Hudson Baker. I think they're going to see a different Hudson Baker that they saw previously when we did play them, and I think they're just going to see a new team when they play us tonight. Just we've been playing a lot of great ball, and I think that Nolan Nash will have a good night as well, because they haven't seen much of him. I mean, besides film and watching him, but they haven't physically played him, especially when they didn't play him much at Fort Scott when we played them at home. But a lot of great things to look forward in this game. I think it'll come down to the wire, honestly, in this game as well. We did, unfortunately, lose to Fort Scott at home by only 3 points, so I do think that we are very capable of winning this ball game if they just play together and play good defense and, make the basket. That's really about it.
Labette County coming off of a tough one, a tough pill to swallow last Friday night at home against Chanute. It was a 1-point game, back and forth. Chanute would have a lead, we would have a lead, and with about 4 minutes left or so, Chanute went up 7. Oh, okay. They are going to do the national anthem again for the boys. Let's take a 90-second timeout, as 2 is a little long for the anthem, and we'll be back here on KLKC. Thank you, Amanda. As you might be wondering why it's me talking, but I'm going to go ahead and do the starters and then take a 30 and give it to John for tip-off. But he does got it, Amanda. He'll do a fantastic job. As starters are in for both teams, we'll start with the home team, the Tigers. Number 3, a 5'11 sophomore, Dirks Kegler. Number 5, a 5'8 senior, Cal Cousins. Number 11, a 5'10 senior, Spencer Goldston. Number 24, a 6'6 senior, Rocco Lafredo. And number 30, a 5'11 junior, Dub Chipman. For Labette County, you know him, you love him, in no particular order. Number 5, Nolan Nash. Number 15, Hudson Baker. first team All-SEK, as that hasn't been given out yet, but I can guarantee you he'll be on there. Number 24, Barrett Heston, or should be. Number 3, Xavier Phillips. And number 4, Kagan Bates. Head coach for Fort Scott is Mike Kroll, assisted by Jason Young. For Labette County, headed up by Bradley Argebright and Brian Tucker and Davey Brown. Labette County, it would be a tasteful victory here on the road at Fort Scott. We'll take a 30-second break, and John Kohler will take it from there. Tip-off in 30 seconds.
All right, welcome back, folks. As we're here on the paw print of Fort Scott here at the Tiger Dome, as the ranked Fort Scott Tigers are taking on your Labette County Grizzlies. Hudson Baker's at the center, or at half court, ready to tip off with number 4, number 24, Rocco Wilfredo. Grizzlies win the tip. Bates begins to bring the ball up the court. Pressured by Cousins. Back and forth, loses the ball. Gives it to Xavier at the top of the key. A lob pass to Baker, broken up. Tigers on the break. Pass up to Chipman is good for 2.
Yeah, it seems to be that Fort Scott likes to play really quick and up and down this court, and seems to be very quick on defense as well. It's going to give Labette County a lot of problems.
Nash's shot is no good, but he's fouled on the play. So he'll be shooting 2. So it's a good take by, I believe that's Noah Nash,
yeah,
right? It's a good take by Nash there on that right side. He felt his defender on his backside, and he kind of snuck in there, was able to draw one.
Yeah, the outstanding freshman has started a couple games for Labette County and has done a lot of great things for us. So I look forward to him having a pretty good night.
His first one is good. The 7:20 hit still here in the first quarter. Nash getting ready to shoot his second. It's up and good. 2-2. Golston's bringing the ball up on the near side. Fredo with the take. Good defense by Hudson Baker there. As Phillips pushes the ball up the right side here. Gives it to Baker. Dribbles. Backdoor cut by Phillips.
Nice.
Pass by Baker is good for a layup.
Yeah, just a good pass from Xavier, or from Hudson to Xavier, and then a good finish from Xavier as well to get those that layup to fall for him.
Kegler gives it to Cousins up top, back to Golston. Wilfredo at the top of the key, handoff, Chipman. Tigers taking it slow here, getting something set up. So,
oh yeah.
The poke by Phillips knocks the ball loose. Will remain Tigers basketball with 6:30 here left in the first quarter.
I thought maybe he just like slipped out of his hand and it just went out of bounds instead of Xavier tipping it, but clearly he saw something else.
Cousins is driving to the right, spins. Pass out to Golston on the left wing. He dribbles. Gives it up to Kegler, screen by Wilfredo. Good defense by Labette County here in this first quarter.
Yeah, really good defense. As Kegler almost mishandles it and goes out of bounds, but will maintain the possession.
Yep. Pass into Wilfredo. Kicks it. Cousins drives, looks, shoots, misses. Baker with the rebound. Grizzlies are pushing. Phillips up the side. Looks. Barrett on the wing. Grizzlies need a good shot here.
Nice.
He shoots it, put back, no good. Grizzlies are up 4-2 with 5:30 here in this first quarter. Tigers coming down to answer. Pass out to Cousins, back at the top of the key. Can't quite see it, the official here in the way, but it's all right. Kegler gets a screen from Lafredo, nothing. Cousins drives, back out to Kegler for 3. It's no good, too long. Rebound Phillips.
Yeah, good rebound by Phillips there to just box out Kegler.
As there's a ball off the knee, I believe. I couldn't see quite who it was, but it is Tiger basketball.
Yeah, Phillips went to drive and it just hit off of his knee and went out of bounds. Seems to be a recurring thing for Phillips lately, honestly. He goes to drive and it just kind of slips out of his hands and he knees it out of bounds.
Yeah, sometimes you just get so sped up, you just kind of lose your bearings a little bit out of control.
Yeah, you're right there. Just a good ball player. He'll come around and he'll get hot in this game.
As there's some pressure applied in the backcourt. Shipman here on the near side, he drives. Kicks out to Lafredo, he's inside. Great defense by Baker as Phillips tried to save it and Baker went to go get it as well, kind of smacked it into each other. So it'll remain Tiger basketball underneath. 4:50 here in the first quarter. Grizzlies up 4-2. Shipman at the top, set play. Lafredo screens for Kegler, nothing there. Back into Lafredo, he's working on Baker.
Wow.
Nice spin.
Oh, wow.
Unable to tip it back in though. Baker brings the ball up. And a wild errant pass is thrown out of bounds, but saved by the Tigers. It's 3-on-2 down the court and they score. So that will tie it with 4:20 in the first quarter, 4-4.
Yeah, that's just what happens when you hustle for any play, honestly. And Chipman did that and ran into the scores table over here and maybe hurt himself a bit, but I mean, hustle outplays anything, and that's what happens. And
great
hustle. Got
scored. As it's kicked into Phillips.
Nash
drives, floater, no good. Baker with the rebound. His shot, no good. Tigers with the ball, pushing up the near side. It's Kegler. He's looking for a man. Gives it to Chipman. Back to Kegler. He drives to Lafredo. His shot, no good. Heston with the rebound. Bit of a fast pace here from the Grizzlies. Trying to put pressure on the Tigers. Grizzlies coming out with the set play. Heston has it in the corner. Gives it to Phillips on the block. Drives. Takes it. Scores it. That is 6-2 Grizzlies here with 3:20 left to go in the first quarter. Great move, honestly.
Oh, yeah, really good move from Xavier Phillips there to get inside and use his body for leverage to overcome his defender and just go up strong with the ball.
His Chipman's three-pointer is no good. Baker with the rebound. Grizzlies have done a great job on this end of the court. Gives it up to Phillips, near side three.
Nice.
It's good. Three-pointer for Xavier Phillips as the Grizzlies extend their lead 9-4. 2:50 left to go in the first quarter.
Wow, yeah, just a good shot from Xavier Phillips there in the corner to step back and make that three-pointer. A lot of confidence in that shot, so just a good shot in general.
Three-pointer from number 4, Brown, is good. So just like that, the Tigers answer back. Bates brings the balls up. Loses a little bit. He's pressured by Golston. Looking for a man to get open. Gives it to Nash on the near side. Phillips gets up the top. He drives. Dishes to Baker.
Nice.
His shot is good. 11-7 here. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Something that we saw in the girls' game a lot was a lot of fouls called. And unlike that game, there's not been very many fouls called in this game. So usually that was going to be a foul call in the girls' game on Baker.
They're letting them play for sure. Chipman takes it inside, gives it to Lafredo. His shot is good. So just like that, we've got a bit of a back and forth ball game here. As there is a
miscommunication there.
I didn't even see. I was looking to talk to you, Ian.
I think either Baird or Phillips, Heston or Phillips went to throw it into Bates, and Bates wasn't paying attention, and it went out of bounds. So Fort Scott will maintain possession of the ball and inbounds it on the side.
Tiger ball. Kegler has it up top. Approaches to the left side. Handoff to Cousins. He drives back. Gives it to Lafredo on the near side. His shot is good.
Wow.
Just like that, Ian, a mistake leads to a tie ball game.
Yeah, just a good good way to create space for Lafredo was Cousins driving in and taking his defender off of Lafredo. So Lafredo was open to make that shot.
Got some subs in the game. Got Heston, his three-pointer. No good. Bit to the left. Kegler has the ball. He's bringing up for the Tigers. He's looking for... He's driving. He's pressured by Bates. Great defense by Bates. Wilfredo has it. The pass is out of bounds. The Tigers remain with possession.
As Goldstein will check back in for Fort Scott, and Chipman will go take his seat on the bench.
Well, it's been back and forth. We've had our moments to kind of extend the lead. Just hasn't quite gone our way, Ian. As Golston has the ball up top. He drives, kicks to Lafredo. Lafredo, his drive, back to Golston up top. Gives it to Cousins. He looks, gets a screen from Lafredo. Kick to the corner to Brown. Back up top to Golston. Not seeing what they're looking for. Golston's drives. I believe it is blocked by Baker. He lobs it down the court, and it is out of bounds. He was looking for Dylan Johnson up the side. Would have been a great play, just too far on the pass.
Yeah, just a little too strong on that pass to Johnson. We saw what he saw, but just too strong on the pass and went out of bounds, unfortunately, for Labette County. Carson Lamb did check into the ballgame for Labette County as well.
Some subs in. Kegler's driving up the court, surveying, kicks it to Cousins. Cousins hands off to Brown. Wilfredo's up top, sets a screen for Brown. It's a pick and roll, lob in, and a foul on Bates coming over to help. So I believe that's just the first on Bates. Both teams have just one foul here. Night and day compared to the girls' game. We got 19 seconds here in this first quarter, 11-11. Sorry, Ian.
No, go ahead. You're fine. Nolan Nash checks in the game for Barrett Heston, but all I was going to say is Alfredo had the mismatch on, I think, Barrett and Kagan, so they had to double team him to get him out.
Golston with the ball up top, guarded by Lamb. He drives to the right, nothing there. Great defense. Dylan Johnson guarding. Cousins' three is no good. Bates chucks it, no good. End of the first quarter, your Grizzlies 11, Fort Scott Tigers 11. We'll get back to you with more Grizzly basketball here in a minute.
My name is Bria and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few days, we are here at Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South to help get you well without any interruption in transition of care. Just ask for Meds to Beds. At Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South, we are here for you today and we are here for you tomorrow.
Ready to kick off the second quarter here in Fort Scott in the Tiger Dome. Your Grizzlies are in a ball game right now and quite the fight with the Fort Scott Tigers, 11-11 entering the second.
Yeah, Fort Scott's a really great team, and they, I think we suffered a loss to them at home by 3 points, but Fort Scott has a really good record, and they did just suffer a loss to Chanute, so it may be difficult coming off a loss and then trying to win a ball game at home. It's a hard thing to do.
Kick to Chipman in the corner. His three-pointer is good. Almost looked like his foot was on the line. Never mind that. Phillips bringing up the ball on the right side. Looking for a set play. Kicks it to number 23 for the Grizzlies. Sorry, I don't have the name right with me. Somehow Baker gets it, drives in. And there's a block called on, I believe, let me get a name for you folks. Dexter Williams, the sophomore, as he's a bit, or no, that is Lafredo. I apologize, folks. senior for the Tigers. He's a bit gimpy to get back up. But Baker's shooting 2. His first shot is up and good. Kegler checks in for Lafredo. We have a sub. Well, Ian, so kind of break down what we saw there from Baker.
Yeah, it was just a good job by Baker using his body inside. He doesn't make his second free throw, so he splits a pair, but just Baker using his body for advantage.
Tigers push the ball up the court. Cousins has it on the near side. He drives, gets a look, shoots it, no good. Rebound by Heston, he's pushing. Nothing there. So look to get set into a play. Barrett up top, kicks it to the corner to Drew. Scheibe, so looks for Baker. Dump down to Baker. His layup is good. As it is 15-14, your Grizzlies, 6:50 here to go in the second quarter. Kegler has the ball up top. He's dribbling. It's a screen from Brown. Nothing there. Kicks it to Golston in the corner. His three-pointer. No good. Too long. Baker with the rebound. Phillips bringing the ball up. He drives. Nothing there. Dumps it to Baker. His shot is good.
Wow. Yeah, I think Chipman almost wanted a charge there, but Baker just kind of levitated over the top of him and didn't get the charge call there, or even potential end one.
Kegler has the ball. He drives to the left. Rejects the screen from Brown. He's inside. Great defense by Baker. Kicks it back out to Golston. His three-pointer. Too long. Rebound by Kegler. Hudson, it seemed Hudson tipped it, mistimed the jump.
Yeah.
Just kind of fell down, and Kegler was able to get that one.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Hudson was the only one trying for a rebound there, so he was outmatched. There was 3 white jerseys and his black jersey down there, so it doesn't help at all.
As Scheibe has the ball on this near side. As I believe Drew Scheibe got inside and scored there. Sorry, folks, I was looking up a name for you guys. As Scheibe's up top, guarding Golston. He drives to the left, nothing there. Back up top to Cousins. Defense has been there all night so far.
Oh, yeah.
Ian.
It's been really great defense, and not very many fouls called either.
Miscommunication after a screen from Brown. Golston's shot is good from top of the key. 18-19, your Grizzlies still on top with 5 here to go. Phillips kicks it to the corner to Heston. Back to Phillips in the corner, and they get out of there. Find Scheibe driving, and there's a called a travel, I believe, on Scheibe.
Yeah, as 3 new Grizzlies will check into the ball game. That is Nolan Nash, Dylan Johnson, and Kagan Bates, as well as Rocco Lofredo for Fort Scott will check into the ball game.
So some of the starters getting a bit of a breather. We get to see a new group of Grizzlies out there. Golston's bringing the ball up for the Tigers. Coming to the near side. Started up tight by Bates. Picks the ball up. Gives it to Lafredo at the top of the key. Hand off to Chipman. His shot is no good. Great defense there by the Grizzlies. I believe Briggs Knight was there playing great defense. He brings the ball up. Knight. Kicks it to Bates. So he look to set something up. Kicks it to Baker.
Nice.
Another kick to Baker. His shot is blocked at the top, but there's a foul called. I believe it's going to be on Lafredo here. So Baker's back to shooting 2. Phillips coming to check in as well as Heston.
Yeah, it was a good play call from Arkwright there to get Hudson on a 1v1 against Lafredo.
Little give and go action down there on the side with Dylan Johnson. The junior, I believe. Right?
Yes, you're correct.
As Phillips and Heston check in for Johnson. Checked in for Knight and somebody else. I'm sorry, folks. I'm kind of.
Heston.
No, Heston's in. All right.
Heston's on the bench.
Oh, no. Never mind. As Bates, Chipman has it here in the corner. Kicks the Kegler up top. Brown has it now.
Baker did split the pair on the free throw line.
There we go, as Chipman's guarded by Phillips here on the near side. Moves it to Brown's corner. Screen by Lafredo. Pick and roll. Misjudged it. His shot, no good. Tigers with the rebound. Golston up top. He drives, kicks it to Kegler in the corner. He drives. His shot is good over Baker.
Yeah, that's tough.
Tie ball game here. 3:40 in the second quarter. As the Grizzlies now have the ball. Johnson in the corner. He dumps it to Baker in the post. He's double teamed. And he loses the ball to Brown. As he just seemed to lose it. Golston with the ball pushing. Has Chipman in the corner. He drives to the middle. Kicks it to Golston for his three in the corner. It's good. Bit of a momentum switch here. Timeout Grizzlies. Full. So we'll give it back to Amanda here for a 30-second break, and we'll be back with some more Grizzly basketball.
My name is Bria and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few days, we are here at Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South to help get you well without any interruption in transition of care. Just ask for Meds to Beds. At Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South, we are here for you today and we are here for you tomorrow.
Game to watch. It's been very high paced, not a lot of fouls called. Time's moved pretty quick here, Ian.
Yeah, very back and forth game. At least it feels like it. It feels like it's back and forth, but Labette County has always had the lead. And if Fort Scott scores, Labette County still has the lead, but as of recently, Fort Scott has taken over the lead and now lead by 3 points.
Golston has hit him for a couple threes now as Bates has the ball up top. Kicks it to Barrett on the side. Phillips up top now. Looking for Baker, he's not there. Kicks it to Heston. He's looking for Baker, not there. Back up to Phillips. He kicks it to Nash. Nash dribbles. Kicks it to Baker up top as he is hit and loses the basketball as Tigers are bringing it up now. Brown has it in the corner. Nothing there. He's guarded tightly by Heston. Great defense. Passes it to Kegler. Alfredo comes up, sets a screen. He rejects it. Kegler's shot is good. Puts the Tigers up 5, 25-20 with 2:20 here to go in the second.
This is a good shot from Kegler. He's a really great ball player for Fort Scott. It makes a lot of playmaking happen.
Bates drives, spins, pump fakes. It's good for 2. Bates has 2 now, 25-22. Tigers still ahead. Golston has the ball up top. He kicks it to Lafredo. The key. Gives it to Brown on the far side corner. Sets him a screen. Rolls. Nothing there. Chipman now up top. He's dribbling. Guarded by Nash. Drives. Ooh, as Phillips here on the near side when Chipman was driving, kind of reached in there. Drew a tic-tac foul. As that is now, I believe that's just Phillips' first foul, as there hasn't been a lot called tonight. Either way, Tigers will inbound it from underneath.
Briggs Knight will check in the ball game for Nolan Nash.
As there's nothing there, lobs it out to Brown. He drives, shoots. Foul on Barrett, got him with his body. So not bad defense, as I believe that is 2 on Barrett now. But not bad defense, just use your body a little bit too much. Let up too much penetration there, and that's the result of that one. As Brown will shoot his first of the night. His first one, no good. As Cousins checks in now for Golston, as, I've been impressed with this Tiger backcourt so far.
Yeah, they have a lot of subs on the bench that they can put in and score and put a lot of pressure on our defense.
Brown shot, second shot is also no good. Phillips with the rebound. He's pressured up the court. He drives, kicks it to Knight. He's wide open. His three-pointer in the corner. It's good.
Nice.
As we've got a tie ball game now with 1:30 here to go. 25-25. Kegler brings the ball up. Left side. Nothing there. Hands off to Brown. He passes it out to Cousins. Rejects the screen from Lafredo. He drives. He shoots. He's fouled. On the floor, though, so no shots.
Oh, wow.
As I believe Bates picks up his first.
I think another ticky-tacky kind of foul again on Labette County, as I think Dylan Johnson's going to go in and replace Kagan.
Yep.
Actually, Barrett.
Yep.
They'll go in and replace Heston.
Yep. Johnson gets Heston here, as this has been a very high-paced game, and that was a huge shot by Briggs Knights there in that corner. As he ties the game, as Shipman backdoors and is fouled by Knight. Lost his man a little bit, and it is a shooting foul this time, so Knight picks up one.
Yeah, Briggs was just trying to play defense on Chipman and had Hudson behind him as well, and I think kind of got a little push from Hudson, and Briggs kind of fell into Chipman.
Yeah, Chipman shoots his first. It misses. But yeah, they had three of their guys, a little overloaded on the one side, and they had Chipman on the near side. Kind of told his Knight there and just backdoored him.
Yeah.
It's an easy look. As his second shot is good. Puts the Tigers up 1:12 here to go in the first half. As Bates brings the ball up, he's guarded by Golston. Kicks it to Johnson. Now to Baker. He drives, working on Lafredo. He spins. His hook, no good, too long. Rebound, Lafredo kicks it to Golston. He's driving, finds Chipman. Back up to Kegler. Now to Golston. Up top, guarded by Bates. Chipman back up top. Screen Lafredo, he rejects it. He shoots, no good. Rebound Knight, the Grizzlies are pushing the ball. Bates up the right side, lose it. As he tries to save the ball, throws it off Golston, I believe. It seems it was out of bounds before it touched Bates there, so Grizzlies will retain possession. As still getting stuff set up. I believe it's going to be inbounded by Johnson here. So it's been a tight game so far. Back and forth, as we said before, as Nash is looking to check in. He's going to check in for Dylan Johnson. So Nash is now inbounding for the Grizzlies. Set a screen for Baker. His pass is tipped, though. Cousins with the steal. Now to Kegler. Tigers setting something up. Probably going to waste the clock for one shot here.
Yeah.
Kegler's wasting time. Knight's guarding him. The count is started by their official. Passes it to Brown. He's now up top. They're setting a double screen for Kegler on the near side. He gets it. Takes the screen. He has the ball up top. He shoots it.
Oh, wow.
The rim's in and out. So, folks, at the half, it's the Tigers up 26. Grizzlies are hanging tough, though. They're right there with 25. We'll be back with you here in 3 minutes for some more Grizzly basketball.
V93.
With many
My name is Bree.
Welcome back, folks. As we begin our halftime show, I'd like to thank a couple sponsors for tonight. First sponsor is Labette Community College, Forbes Hoffman Funeral Home, Clemens Insurance Agency, Labette Health, Woodworth Enterprises, Carson Wall Funeral Homes, Commercial Bank, Eye Care Associates of Parsons, Labette Bank, Bartlett Co-op, Labette Center for Mental Health Services, Community National Bank, Take Connection, Wood Insurance Center, Unified School District 506, The Corner Store, Olson Ace Hardware, and SEK Orthopedics, Dr. Mosier and Meister. This is the Eye Care Associates halftime show. So, Ian, you got a couple things for us to break down here at half?
Oh, just Labette County's been playing really great ball right now and keeping up with Fort Scott. And I think that's what we saw at home when we played them as well, as we kind of went shot for shot and we stood in the game with them as well. I think a couple times we went down and a couple times we were up, and you know, it's just a back and forth game, and that's what's going to happen against a good team like Fort Scott. So the main thing for Labette County is to just stay in the game with them, keep going shot for shot, and just wait till that fourth quarter comes around and you make a push for it, and you know, you just strike at them and you taste blood, and then you just kind of go at it after that.
Yeah, as the leading scorer for Labette County is no surprise is Hudson Baker, but Phillips has also had a nice first half.
Oh yeah.
A couple twos and a three, puts them at 7. Bates has 2, Nash has 2. Shivey got in and scored 1. And Briggs Knight, he had a huge 3 here in this right corner to tie the ball game initially at 25. Now 26-25, you know. And Kepler, sneakily, he has 8 points. He's leading the way for the Tigers, as it felt like Golston was making a huge impact there. He only has 5, though. So teams both evenly matched. Some contributing members of the Tigers include Shipman with 6, Brown with 3. Alfredo, he's been kind of shut down by Baker underneath with only 4. And Cousins has not scored yet, but man, these are 2 evenly matched teams, I feel like. I mean, they're right there. Tigers have a great backcourt, obviously. But the size of Labette County down inside with Phillips and Baker has proven a tough matchup for the Tigers to match.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. And I think the teams are 2 evenly teams. I think Fort Scott's had the better season. I think we had some aspects of Labette County kind of coming out and playing the same as Fort Scott, because I think our skill level are equal. I think our guards are just as talented as their guards, and our big players are just as talented as their big guards. So, I mean, we got Hudson Baker in there and Xavier Phillips, like you said. They're tearing it up down there and playing really great ball. And they just need to continue doing that throughout the second half as well, and causing problems down there. I think Hudson always has a great second half. I'm not expecting anything less from him, but I expect Xavier to keep doing what he's doing, because he's playing really great and passing the ball and making some great shots for us. And like you said, Briggs Knight made that really, really great 3-point shot right there to tie the ball game, but to tie it at 25 both. But now Fort Scott is only up by 1 point. So just a great team chemistry right now, and I think that Labette County is just as equal as Fort Scott, and I think we'll just go toe-to-toe, and it'll be back and forth game, like I said.
Yeah, something to note is the play styles of both offenses. The Tigers are much more ball movement. They kick it around. They go set screens. Labette County's been a little bit more stagnant. They've been taking their time, and they've been kicking into the post, taking what the Tigers have been giving them. So, I mean, that's something to note here in the second half. Things get out of hand. We may have to switch our play style to, catch up with the Tigers. The Tigers may have to slow down. They may get out of hand with some turnovers and things of that nature. So I think that's going to wrap up our halftime show here. We'd like to thank the great folks over at SEK, or the Eye Care Associates of Parsons. And we'll be back with you in 2 minutes with some more Grizzly basketball. Thank you.
Jack Leak back with you on the microphone as Labette County will begin the third quarter with the basketball. John, as I was wearing a headset and I could hear both John and yourself, Ian, commentating that first half, and boy, that was great. John Kohler, thank you for stepping in. I'm excited to hear you Friday night covering both girls and boys games at home against Atchison. Labette County will have the ball here in the second half, and Dylan Johnson is caught walking at the top of the key, and a turnover is the result of possession number 1 for Labette County.
Yeah, maybe just a slow start for Labette County to get into this ball game. May take him just a couple minutes to warm up and get into it.
Dylan Johnson playing off the ball just a touch. Fort Scott in their home whites, spacing the floor well. It's 4 out, 1 in. Skip pass, Goldston left wing, now Kegler at the top. Good denial away from the ball for Labette County. This possession, 7:15 third quarter, Fort Scott by a point. Nobody has scored here in the second half. Right wing, Chipman, left-hand drive, outlet, head fake and nod. Off the take underneath here. And Cousins underneath scores it.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of looking around and I'm not noticing Xavier's not on the bench or out on the court right now for us, and I don't know where he could be at. Maybe he got injured.
Lafredo gets a steal and will dunk it at the other end of the floor, and Fort Scott opens the third quarter on a 4-0 run, 30-25. They lead, and certainly a note of great importance from Ian Harlow as we have a foul on Fort Scott, as Xavier Phillips is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, I mean, we hope Xavier's okay. I didn't see.
I think I was just told that he's dealing with some sickness right now.
That's too bad. Barrett misses a 3 in the corner. 6:30 in the third. Fort Scott stripping it all the way to the other end and laying it in for 2. Cal Cousins has 4 here in the third, as he did not score in the first half. Fort Scott up by 7. How will Labette respond? Floater for Bates, in and out. Rebound Cousins. Coach Argerbright to my left, bends at the knees. Pass up ahead, 3-point Goldston on its way, strong. They called it a long 2. Rebound Nolan Nash, rip and running right to left. Xavier Phillips back and goes right to the scores table upon returning from the locker room. Baseline jumper missed by Nash. Rebound Kegler. Fort Scott to Goldston. No one stops the ball, but he pulls it back.
Yeah, Fort Scott off to a hot start to begin this second half. Don't seem to be letting up the pedal right now.
As that's 3 on Barrett Heston, and the first foul on Labette County this quarter with 5:45 left in the third, as 2 Grizzlies check in, Xavier Phillips being one of those.
Yeah, and he'll replace Dylan Johnson, and Briggs Knight will replace Barrett Heston.
32-25, Fort Scott, 5:45, third quarter. Tigers throw it in. Kegler near the volleyball stripe, defended by Nash. Now Phillips playing off the ball a little bit. That's Dub Chipman. Top of the key, Cousins dishes it off to the corner. Back with it, driving, Chipman, deflected, nearly stolen, but he gets it back. Now Kegler in front of Fort Scott's student section, driving and fouled by Nash, and that'll be the team's second of the third quarter. And Nolan's first.
Yeah, I don't know if you recognize this in the first half, Jack, while you were sitting behind us, but there was not many calls made in that first half of the ball game, unlike the girls' game where it just seemed like everything was a foul. It's just a different ball game, different feel in this game.
Yeah, it went by fast. Perhaps that's a reason why. Here's a nice 3-point shot off of a good move, but Cousins misses. Rebound Labette County. Xavier Phillips appears to be okay on the floor. Bates penetrates, stops at the free throw stripe, tries to find someone, backdoor Zay, goes up, stripped, no foul, and it goes out of bounds, touching the red baseline underneath, and it'll stay with Labette County unless the FAR official says otherwise. No, it will stay with the Grizzlies, down 7, 4:50, third quarter.
Brown will check in from Fort Scott and replace Cousins.
Briggs Knight to inbound. Kegler outstretched arms. Goes in. Baker trips. Lafredo compressing, but not enough. Phillips, left wing, wants a three. Off left, rebound, Briggs Knight. Good play on the right block. Baker near the three-point line, heels are on it. He'll drive on Lafredo, go up with the left, hit the rim 3 times but missed. Lafredo with the board and outlet to Goldston. Switches left to right, attacks at Briggs, shoots, misses. Rebound Hudson, who's ripped out of bounds by Lafredo, and they don't call it on Rocco, and they say Hudson simply stepped out. Huh.
Yeah.
4:30, third quarter, 32-25, Fort Scott. Cousins at the top, hands it off to the point guard, Goldston, wearing number 11 in red numbers on white jerseys. He'll hand it off. More dribble handoff beyond the arc here. Goldston finds himself back with the rock, defended by Bates. He'll try to take it on the sophomore guard, give it up to Kegler, left elbow J, good. Timeout. Coach Kroll, as he's pleased with his team's start to the third quarter, as Fort Scott has outscored Labette County 8-0 in the first 4 minutes of the third. Back in a minute with more Grizzly basketball.
With many years of combined experience, Eye Care Associates of Parsons has set the framework in providing comprehensive eye health examinations for all ages and routine vision care for families throughout the 4-state area. Our optometrists and staff provide remarkable care with state-of-the-art technology to help with diagnosis and management of eye health conditions. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your next eye exam. Eye Care Associates of Parsons. Experience modern eye care.
The tunes are being boomed off the walls here inside the Tiger Dome, as I was listening into John and Ian in the first half, and I think John's right. They do call it the Tiger Dome in here, and I knew I was missing something there in that girls' game. Thanks for that, John. Good atmosphere here in Fort Scott. Labette County will have the ball down 9, allowing Fort Scott to go out in the second half on an 8-0 run. Baker will pop at the top to get it from Briggs. A little high-low with Phillips, but Phillips isn't open. Nash inside the left elbow will drive, cradle, shoot, barely miss. Rebound fought for, and nearly out of bounds was Brown, but they say he walked the tightrope, and here comes Kegler.
I don't know. I thought he was on the baseline, and he touched it and threw it in.
Kegler spins. A circus shot's gonna fall for Dirks Kegler. He has 4 points in the last 2 possessions for Fort Scott. They lead by 11.
You know, Kegler's been very dangerous from that mid-range area for us, and he's been making every shot that we've been giving him right there.
Baker helps out the point guard, Bates, by catching it. Baker will drive, shoot with the right, spin in and out, rebound Lafredo, who trots back. Brown, near travel, forwards it, corner tray is good. That's Cal Cousins on the score, and Fort Scott has outscored Labette County 13-0 here in the first 5 minutes, 20 seconds of the third quarter.
Yeah, this feels like a different feel right now to the second half of the ball game for Labette County. Not the same first half team we saw.
2:40 left in the third. Perhaps I should throw the headset back to John.
Here's the good luck, Sean.
Now, Labette County will get this figured out here.
Yeah.
Here's Xavier driving, gets to the rack and is fouled by Lafredo, who acts a little hurt, and then pops to his feet in a lively manner and appears to be just fine. But Xavier came into the third quarter a little late, got word, if that was accurate what you heard, that he was maybe battling some sickness. I don't know, maybe his stomach was upset, and returned to the third quarter a little late out of the locker room. So he's trying to get his thoughts, feelings, and perhaps internals about him again, as he'll shoot his first free throw and miss it in and out.
As Bear Hester will check in for Labette County and replace Nolan Nash, and Goldstein will replace Kegler. for Fort Scott.
39-25. Phillips trying to get Labette County on the board for the first time in the second half. Second free throw on its way, and good. Hit the front of the rim and fell down. Xavier's got 8, had 7 in the first quarter. Left to right. Goldston gets by Phillips. Cousins baseline striping it. Baker cuts him off. Goldston whips it left to right wing. Brown, lengthy player on a drive, loses his footing, picks up the dribble, gives it inside. A good move, but the free throw, or the floater rather, is in and out for Cousins. Briggs will drive, hand it off Heston. He'll hand it off Phillips. They look inside for Huddy, well over his head. That's hard to do. Cousins on the carom, left to right, dribbling with the right. He'll jump stop, turn, kick. Not there. Bates gambles but misses, leaving Goldston open for 3. Bricks it. Long board goes to Brown. Inside, Labette not getting back, but having to force it. Lafredo shoots from the free throw line and scores. Boy, Chipman was wide open but saw Hudson closing in, and he threw it to Rocco, who scored.
Yeah, just unfortunately for us, not boxing out the people who are on the arc, on the three-point line. Bites us in the butt, and they get the ball.
Heston in the corner, given room, lets it rip, misses strong. Rebound Cousins, up ahead Brown, one-on-one with Bates. Euros shoots, gets it, plus the foul. As I would have been fine with maybe just letting that one go, because he pretty much cleared Bates on his Euro step, but they signal in the block as Bates fell down, as Fort Scott pops out to a 17-point lead with 1:09 left in the third. And one for Cannon Brown, good. As Fort Scott has outscored Labette County 18-1 in the third quarter. Clock runs.
As Kegler checks in for Dub Chipman. Dub Chipman's a really good Fort Scott player. He just controls the court for Fort Scott.
Here's Heston on a nice feed from Baker. Hangs but can't get it to fall. Nice offense, though, for Labette County. Cousins pulls up from short and gets the bunny to go in off the window. He's got 9 third quarter points alone, and Fort Scott goes up 20.
Yeah, they've been on a 20-1 run ever since opening up from halftime.
Bates on a high-low feed goes right out of bounds as Coach Argabright wants a timeout. The body language is not ideal as Labette County played a mighty fine first half on the road, and now they trot their way back to the colored benches to my left for a long minute timeout, down 20 on the road. 1 minute break on KLKC.
V93.5 is your home for the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. Get your day started with the Anna and Raven Morning Show. You're the judge during couples court. Couples share their disagreement, and then you decide who's right. Think you know pop culture trivia? It could pay off, and you score the cash jackpot when you play Can't Beat Raven. Krause in the house gets you home every weekday afternoon starting at 2. Stream us anytime, anywhere at KLKCradio.com.
A pretty emphatic Tiger Dome is surrounding us courtside down here by a more gloomy Labette County bench as they trail by 20 with 30 seconds left in the third quarter. This was a 1-point affair at the intermission. Goldston dribbles to the far side of the court with Bates on him. He'll try to work our sophomore guard left to right near his bench and get there, then dribble off his leg, but a foul prematurely on Bates. Our team's fourth of the third quarter with only 15 seconds left in it, and Kagan's third personal.
It's definitely been a rough start to this second half for Labette County, and just scoring the ball, it just seems like the ball does not want to go in the rim for us. And everything just kind of keeps rolling around the rim or bouncing out, and then playing defense has kind of been slow for us as well.
Bates will work on Goldston. Dribble handoff. Three-point shot left wing. Strong off the butt of the rim. Tipped about. Phillips tips it to Kagan, who lets a quarterback pass fly to Baker. And a three-pointer at the buzzer's no good. So Labette County is going to have to overcome not just a lump, but a mountain to pull this one off here in Fort Scott, down 20 on the road in quarter number 4. Back in 1 minute with the fourth and final stanza from Fort Scott. (46-26) is your score at the end of 3. And yes, this is the same game that you listened to an hour ago. Labette County just struggled in that third quarter, while Fort Scott hit just about every good look they got. Even some ugly ones they got to fall down. Fort Scott has it with the fourth quarter running, 7 minutes, 50 seconds, and counting. Here's a good backdoor from Cousins to Kegler, and Kegler finishes it for his 14th point. Bates finds Baker, who wants to take Lafredo down low. Knight clears space, but it's stripped going up, and Baker will have to get back on defense as Fort Scott's already well on this side of half court. Lafredo open underneath and scores it. 7:15 left. It's 50-26 Fort Scott. Heston on the far side, wrapping around from right to left around the red painted three-point line. Heston pulls up from 10, misses it short. Coach Argerbright shrugs that shot off. Open shot in the corner. You're a saint, Amanda. Thank you for your patience. I've never had 2 brand new 9 volts die, but our power cable here that powers the broadcast died, so we had to run a cable all the way behind us up by the wall, and thanks for your patience, but unfortunately we didn't miss much Grizzly scoring as it's 60-30 Fort Scott in front of Labette County with a running clock here on the road with 4 minutes and counting as Baker gets a free throw to fall, as I'll catch up here in a moment on the scoring totals. In fact, I'll have John do that for me if he could. Go over there to Coach Price and just copy down what he has for the second half. Thank you, John. As Hudson misses the second free throw and it tumbles out of bounds. Carson Lamb in the game for Labette County, surrounded by Baker, Heston, Knight, and the 5th Grizzly is Kagan Bates. As throwing it in is Carson Lamb, flips it into Heston near the volleyball stripe. Dribbles back and forth with the right and left hands. Bates on the left wing. Fort Scott's been on a burner from the 3-point line, as all I heard while I was plugging in our new cable was Fort Scott for 3 from the PA announcer here in the Tiger Dome.
They did not miss.
No, as Baker's going to shoot 2 more free throws as he's fouled.
I think Labette County's still playing hard as they're trying to fight through this game and possibly come back. I know there's 2:55 remaining, and the clock is just continuing to go, and we're down by 29. But I think this is 28 now as Baker made his free throw. And Caden Blackledge will check in the game for Heston. But it's just it's a long game for Labette County. I think what you need to do is just you play people that you don't see very often on the court, get them some minutes and see how they do on the big court.
60-33 Fort Scott. Just kind of had some bad juju here in the second half. Both the Grizzlies on the floor as well as us here on the sideline as part of the broadcast overcame some technical problems as Blackledge, Caden gets a nice play in here, steals it from Lafredo, but Fort Scott bobbles it back into possession with 2:08 left in the game. Cousins spinning around Bates, gets inside, good hook pass to Lafredo, but he misses the touch floater. Would have been the best assist of the night for Fort Scott. They get it back, and then Baker flies in and blocks a shot easily put up by Cousins as 3 Tigers check in. It's going to be Malachi Larson, Dexter Williams, and Reese Roberts. And for Labette County, it's going to be Brody Weil and Maddox Dewey checking in. Those 2 will replace Hudson Baker as well as Kagan Bates. 90 seconds and counting. Clock has been running during these interchanges. 60-33 Fort Scott in front. Ball is in for Fort Scott. Brown in the corner. Blackledge on him. Left wing for the Tigers now, finding his fellow JV player, Williams, to the corner. Brown for 3. Strong. Dewey fights for it, but able to collect it, put it up, and miss is Chipman. Tipped out, and they'll say it's Labette County ball, so we'll see some Labette County reserves get an opportunity to find some success here.
Yeah, this is your time to show Argo Bright that you're capable of scoring against other people on the big court while a lot of eyes are watching you, and just improve your game as well as play newer or same competition as you did earlier.
40 seconds left in this one. 60-33. Blackledge launches a 3, hit the rim twice and didn't fall in for him. Rebound Brown. Weil sticking with him, but Brown will push it up. Quick to the paint. Dewey stepping in, and it's going to be a block on Maddox Dewey.
I think he called a charge.
Oh, he did call a charge? Oh, good. He never signaled. He just put his hand up. I didn't see.
It was very unnoticeable screen that he did. You know, most referees are like, "Wah!" But he just kind of went behind his back or head and put his hand out.
As the clock operator is going to stop the clock and hopefully let Labette. Well, they're just going to run this one out. They're going to run it out. So Labette County won't get a chance to get a 3-pointer, but that's all right. 60-33, the final score. The second half just kind of fell to pieces for our Grizzlies, and Fort Scott shot the ball very well. Tough loss here on the road. Labette County stays at 2 wins on the year and might need 1 or 2 more wins if they want to bid at Sub-State. as they sit down there, I believe, in 17th right now with Paola behind us at 18th. We'll step aside for a 4-minute break, and I'll try to get caught up on scoring for you, and we'll be back with the Bowen Pharmacy postgame show in 4 minutes. Certainly wish we had a more upbeat post-game show, such as the music you hear in the background, but unfortunately not. That's not the case. Labette County falls 60-33 here in this one, and in the second half, our Grizzlies were outscored 34-8. So that kind of tells the tale, as this was a one-point game, 26-25, Fort Scott at the break. We'll go ahead and run down these numbers for you. Hudson Baker had 12. Xavier Phillips had 8. Briggs Knight had 5. Kagan Bates had 4. And Nolan Nash and Drew Scheibe each had 2. For Fort Scott, 3 players had double figures. Kegler with 16, Cousins with 15, Lafredo with 10, Brown with 8, Chipman with 6, and Goldston with 5. Box score totals at the end of one, it was tied at 11. And then in the second quarter, Fort Scott outscored Labette 15-14, making it 26-25 Tigers at the break. In the third quarter is where it busted. Fort Scott got us 20-1 in the third quarter and then doubled us up again in the fourth, 14-7, giving us our final score of 60-33. Ian, it wasn't a pretty second half. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have those second halves where they're ugly, but you can find some bright spots. And then, because you're human, because you're flawed just as people and athletes, it happens. You'll have a second half where things are just dead, redlined. And that just happened, and that's okay. My thoughts about this team don't change.
No.
They can still beat anybody on any given night, but that just happens. It's the name of the game. Had a second half where just nothing happened. One field goal was all we got in that second half.
Yeah, it was just sometimes nights like that happen where nothing kind of goes your way. And it seemed like, the first half, like this is going to be a back-and-forth game. It's going to be a great game to end really against a really good Fort Scott team. And then things just in the second half didn't go their way. Shots didn't fall. Turnovers happened. Fort Scott just played really, really quick and up and down the court. Just found the outlet pass, found the guy inside, and they just scored, or found the guy on the three-point line to make a three-pointer. It just kind of seemed like Fort Scott was on their shooting game tonight.
Yeah.
And couldn't miss very much in that second half, and it's gonna be hard to win a game when the end of the third quarter it's 20-1 outscored on Lebec County, and so that's gonna be a hard thing to overcome in the game. And so I think Lebec County, like you said, nothing changes. None of my thoughts change for Lebec County. We still have a great team, and I think we can face anybody on the given night and get a good run for their money. And so I just think Lebec County had a tough second half, and I think the best way to overcome that is you get that out of your system, and you go Friday night to a tough Atchison team that we know is pretty good. I think they only have one loss, and I think they stand first place in that 4A on our side of the 4A side, whatever that's called. I just think it's the best way that you go from this game is to look and learn from your mistakes, and you play better the next game, and just kind of wipe that off your shoulders and not let that affect your games in the next upcoming ones.
As that road of upcoming games will look like this. This Friday, senior night, last chance to get inside the best gym in the state of Kansas, Harrison, is going to be this coming Friday. Lebec County does host the #1 team in the region of 4A, Atchison. It'll be John Kohler and Ian Harlow on the call. Tune in for that one. And then the following Tuesday and Friday, we go to Pittsburgh and go to Coffeyville. And then it's game on for postseason play in sub-state. As our boys, depending on what other teams do, well, actually, no. Lebec County is going to have to win 1 or 2 more games to have a chance to get in to sub-state.
I think at least one game, at least.
Yeah, we'll cross those bridges when we get there. I'm not trying to apply pressure or call out anything, but that simply is the case. Right now, our girls with this loss now have become tied with like 3 or 4 other teams, depending on what they did tonight, of course. But our girls are going to fall maybe now within that top 7, top 8. So it's still looking like our Lady Grizzlies might host the first round of sub-state, but no promises are secure on February 13th. Still 3 more games to go. A lot can happen, and we'll keep you updated on the outlook of postseason play. I still have yet to see Coach Argerbright protrude from the locker room. I'm not trying to cut him off. He will speak with John on Friday, but we do have about an hour and a half drive home. We are going to go ahead and call this one a broadcast. Grizzly fans, thank you for tuning in for another evening of Labette County Grizzly basketball. Hope you enjoyed John Kohler calling the first half of this one, and thank you for sticking with us through those technical difficulties for that brief period there towards the end of the boys' game. For Ian Harlow, Lucas Hayward, and John Kohler, I'm Jack Leake saying so long from Fort Scott, Kansas. John Kohler and Ian Harlow will talk to you this Friday at about 6 o'clock for the girls' game against Atchison. Have a good night, and as always, God bless.